Hi there, and welcome to an unusual podcast for the Round the Rocky Bowl podcast. But this is a Show Me the Keeper league. Obviously, it's based on our home league, but part of PPR. But we've got 16 people all ready to go. I think everybody's on apart from two, maybe Sean as well.
think
But
there's a
welcome, Craig.
couple still not on, Johnny. Couple still not on. How we doing?
I'm all right, thanks. Sunday night, draft night.
Good.
It's time for the quick drafts.
Well, that's it. It's time for this quick drafts now, isn't it? A couple of Sundays before. This is when we start moving. This is when the real drafts kick off, as I like to call them. Not the real drafts, but you know what I mean. The quick drafts, the ones that you can get into, and it's in and done. And yeah, this one here, this is a keeper league, Johnny. So a lot of people not sure what that entails. I mean, for me, the way I look at this is a redraft league. This is redrafted every season. The caveat being that you can keep two of your players from the previous year that you had in your team. If you want to keep one player, that's your first round pick. If you want to keep two players, it's your first round and second round pick. And then it's redraft again. So for me, this is just redraft over and over. It runs and it plays exactly the same as our home league that's been running, going into its 11th year now. And so for me, I am drafting this like this is a redraft. If you do well in this, you will have keepers for next year. There's no ifs, no buts, no maybes. So for me personally, I look at it. If I'm picking between two players, I might go with the younger one because it's a keeper league. That's the only kind of caveat. That's the only weight that I give it being a keeper league too. Other than that, it's just like a normal redraft. And I am up first, Johnny.
I have mentioned
Let's get this.
Benjamin, Gary, and Sean, so hopefully they'll join us soon. So let's get this draft started.
Let's get this show
Good
on
luck,
the road.
everyone.
Good luck, everyone. Yep, here we go. So here we go. First pick, Johnny. I wasn't happy with this pick. I wasn't happy getting this pick. I wasn't happy on this pick. And I'm still not happy with this pick. And I still, right up to this minute, don't know what way I'm going to go. I have mocked this. I have mocked it 3 times. Once going wide receiver, twice going running back. And I actually prefer the way my team works out with the running back and the 101. So I reckon I'm going to go running back here. My big, and it's after all that I've said there, you don't go Bijan. If this was a dynasty league, I would be going Bijan right here and now. I would not be going, maybe Hall, but I wouldn't be looking at McCaffrey. But this isn't. This is a keeper league. This is a redraft each year. Now, if I was to pick McCaffrey goes on and I go on and win this year, then I will be keeping McCaffrey next year because he'll have had a big part to play in it. So I don't worry about 2026. I will take Christian McCaffrey in the 101 and hope that he's not going to get hurt and that he's going to have the year that he had last year.
Yeah, you have to go for him because he is because it's not super flex. So you have to go somewhere. You have to really go McCaffrey because he is the best player, and it is PPR.
It does scare me, and I was very close to going wide receiver because I know that the wide receiver, and this is a PPR league. Let's not forget as well. This is PPR that can't be forgotten. Then there are bonus points for 200-yard games. I see in McCaffrey, has 200-yard games as often as anybody else in the league. That's for sure. And Chris has went with Tyreek Hill number 2. That's who I would have went if I was going receiver. I would have went Tyreek Hill. I've decided to go. I'm going to try. I really liked my third mock team, so I'm going to try and get this as close to my third mock as I possibly can.
Well, as long as you didn't talk about it, it should be all right.
So Chris going Tyreek Hill in 102, absolutely perfect pick. Don't know, you could go. As I say, Lamb and Chase, I'm not liking right now just because they're sitting out at the moment, and sit out years tend to pickle off into not a whole lot, So yes, I think they'll get their contracts done. Yes, I think they'll both be playing. So, but actually they're going to start slow and it's going to be laboured and they're not going to be fully match fit. And yeah, I don't like the sit out. So that's what would put me off taking a Lamb or a Chase this early in the draft when you're looking for your superstar.
Definitely. So Tony's on the clock now, so he's got 3.5 minutes to pick. So we'll see how he gets on. We've got 4 people watching, but I'm not too sure who's watching. But who is watching, welcome. Yeah, there's obviously our home league is non-PPR, so that's really in the bonuses.
It's
And we have a
cheap.
different kicker in our one, but I'm quite happy not having them because the dilemma of picking kickers and defenses late on in the season is a bit of a nightmare. But
That's part of that league though, and that's it's like kickers and defenses can win you matches, they really can if they go out and have a big one. So as much as it's almost throwaway positions or positions that you want,
well,
the positions that are important still, and it's and they can make a difference in the odd. Some games they make a difference,
yeah, well,
Evening
they
Douglas.
did in year two when I picked the wrong defense and it cost me. So I don't like defenses, but I'm not bitter about that at all.
I mean, for me here, Tony's got to be looking at Lamb, Jefferson, Chase. I mean, maybe Amon-Ra. You could. There's a case for Amon-Ra here, and then if he wants to go running back, then it's Bijan or Brees. That's kind of where you would think that he would be looking at the moment. That's kind of the top tier ones, I would say. I'm not saying there's a slip off to AJ Brown per se, but they are the top tier for me. That's
Oh, definitely.
proper tier one.
And hi, Doug, and hi, Alan. Welcome to watching the show. And here, Craig, what you talk? Who wants to pick so you can snipe him? Although Doug's quite far away, it's more like they're going to snipe me in this bloody thing as well. And Alan's
Yeah, Graham's right behind me. That
110.
scares
So.
me. It scares me that Graham's on the other turn. Graham on the turn and me on the turn. That I never picked before him or after him. No, that's fine.
No.
Yeah, you and Doug will be sniping each other all night, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear all about it if I pick one of his players, but I'll try and keep my calm and not slag him off too much. But because you're probably going to beat me. But nah, I am looking forward to this. And like I say, the other one's been going for 11 years now, and if we can keep this one going, it'd be awesome. And I did get a little championship ring for the winner as well. So whoever wins will get a championship ring. I can't afford a
I
trophy for
mean,
this one, so
it's a $20 a season league. This one, so it's very much, it'll be most games are kind of 10. You push to 15 some of them, but $20 is an investment for people, so I can't imagine them not. Is
yeah.
Tony? I mean, his green light's on, Johnny. Have you heard from him?
Well, I didn't message him because his green light was on, but I'll message him now. Do you want me to pause it till I get a hoodie or just keep on going?
No, I think we've got to keep on going, Johnny. I don't think that's fair. This is a fast draft, we've got to play it out. We'll be here all night if we start pausing,
Fair point. Oh
And
no, he must have picked.
so it's CD.
There you go.
CD, I think he actually picked it, Johnny. I think he picked it. I think we're fine. Yeah, CD
He
Lamb he's
did.
away with. So, I mean, totally understand the pick. If he wasn't sitting out, I would have probably taken Lamb in at the 101. But
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with the sit out. I'm really
I
not.
don't trust Jerry Jones. He's a bit of a dick. I mean, and he could severely fuck it up. And same with Chase. Chase sat out
Absolutely.
his final year of college because he wanted to earn the bucks. So he might easily sit out if he doesn't get paid.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I don't think he'll get. I don't think he'll sit out. I think anyone who does sit out, it's never gone well for someone who's sat out. Not one person is a. Watson sat out in Houston. What happened? They became garbage. Bell
well,
sat out in Pittsburgh. What happened? They became garbage. Sitting out doesn't help
don't
you.
talk to me. Don't talk to me about Bell when I kept him and he fucking sat out and he was absolute shit.
I know. I know.
That was a sore one.
That was Bell was. Yeah, that was. I mean, that was just one of those. And it was completely sitting out a year. You can't sit out a year in this.
No.
And then
There goes JJ.
then Benji goes for Justin
Oh,
Jefferson, and Suarez Power
Jamar
follows it up
Chase.
quickly with Jamar Chase. So now it's
We've got
Batch
Arthur
that's on
now.
the clock here. So Batch is moving up, and Batch hasn't got his green light on.
I did message him and he did do a thumbs up. So
So yeah, he's on the clock. I'm not surprised Haldane's not in yet. He's not got a pick for a while. Oh, there he is. He's in his pick. Brees Hall. Yeah, I totally
there
get
you
that
go.
as well. The four superstar. I want to chuck Amon-Ra in there. I really do. But the four superstar wide receivers are gone, and you know the running back way is not a bad way. I did think,
Oh,
and
there
then
goes Bijan.
there Ross has followed up with Bejan, which is completely
I'm
correct
not
as
sure if
well.
Gary. I'm I'm not sure if Gary's recovered from being in Dublin yesterday, but
Was he over in Dublin yesterday, was he?
yeah, and he's a FSU fan, so he's obviously still grieving.
I didn't even know there was a game on over there.
Yeah, it was FSU against it's a Golden Tech. They were the away team anyway, but yeah, it went to a final second field goal for FSU to lose, but when I think they were seeded number 10 before the game, so they got beat. Georgia Tech. Is it Georgia Tech they lost to? I have to Google
Georgia
that one.
Tech. Yeah, I just don't pay any attention to college football whatsoever. I've got to say, I didn't go to college in America. I've got no affiliation to any of them, so I just can't get into it. I really can't. I think it is for, you've got, for me, I would need to have an affiliation with one of the schools to be overly interested in it.
Well, the thing is, not affiliated, but I do like the Spartans because one of the boys I used to play fantasy football with, and I went with him to the Giants Dolphins game. I met him there, and he went to FSU, and he was also a Giants fan. So then, ever since then, I've sort of followed them.
Well, I mean, there's easy ways
and all that. So,
but
other than that,
to get an affiliation. You don't have to went to the school. Just something simple like that. I know someone that went there, so I like them. It's as good a reason as any over here. I just literally have no affiliation to any school. Nothing draws me to any of them.
Plus, being a Hibs fan, they wear green, so that helps. And at the moment, they're about as shite as Hibs, so that makes it even better. I went in.
I genuinely used to rock up at Ibrox with my Green Bay Packers top on.
You're lucky you didn't get lapped until they realised what happened. But yeah, I was on D8 skate last night, and I thought I'd go for an interesting, different top to go for. So I went for Edmonton Elks jersey with the number one Warren Moon.
Elks.
Yeah, well, Warren Moon played for them way back when, like so. It's like 15 quid. Like I thought, what the hell? I'll just buy it. So I'll show you when it comes in. It looks quite smart. Like so. Because I've got lots of Giants ones, and I like to buy my rookie tops each year and all that stuff. But I thought, fuck it, I'll try something different.
Well, do you know what? That's the only way you would get me to wear another. See, because I'm such a heavy Green Bay Packers fan, I would not even dream of wearing any other team's top. I just wouldn't do it. But Edmonton, whoever's, they're not in the NFL. I would happily wear that one. It's the only other top I will ever wear in my life of an NFL top is when London gets its team. I'll wear that top when I go to those games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Outside of that, I will never wear another NFL team's top. Green Bay Packers only.
I'm guessing Gary will be autoing this draft in because he's not replied to any text messages and he's about to. Well, hopefully, he just goes on auto because he doesn't have to force him every time, but he should do.
Well, it will go on auto. No, it should go on auto, or just force it through each time if he's going. We can't be waiting 5 minutes every round, Johnny. We'll be here at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got to go and see my mammy tomorrow.
He's not been online, but WhatsApp was 7 o'clock the last time he was on. So, but then he's not been drafted. Well, Graham's gone off as well. So hopefully Graham comes back on. We're going to have another bloody auto, and he's got 2 picks in his round.
I know Graham will know. Graham will be
his age is on it, so
he's.
There he is.
There's the green light. Graham's got 2 picks in the first round here. I offered Graham the 101 for his 109 and the 115, and he turned me down. He said, "No, I want my 2 first round picks." So very interested to see what Graham does with him here. It certainly gives him a leg up. I mean, it really does. To get 2 picks in the first round, especially in a 16-team league, is massive.
Well, I hope he doesn't want Amon Ra. So Gary's probably going to end up getting him by auto.
There, Graham's getting a wee bit tetchy because he went all the way to Motherwell today to watch his team lose 3-1.
Was it 3-1 in the end? I thought it was 1-0 the last game I saw, but sorry, they're still better than Hibs.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Funnily enough, the Hibs ladies were playing in Motherwell as well, so Hibs and Hearts were both in Motherwell today.
I don't know how.
Can't imagine that happens very often.
No.
So Gary will time up here, and then that's him on auto. So And he'll stay. That's him on auto now, so it'll auto him the way, and he'll get who he gets. Good luck, Gary. I mean, do you know what? See the way Gary drafts, I think he'll do him a favour.
Probably. Oh no, now he's online. He's probably going to
He's
go
just.
off.
I'm
Maybe he
not
just
one.
wasn't sure
I'm
what
not.
to pick this first player, so he thought, I'll just let them go on auto, and maybe they'll do it for him, and it'll be better.
I know he's
It's
just
not a
jumped
bad
off
first
again.
auto pick, to be honest. And here comes Alan.
No, I mean, listen, Amon-Ra's exactly who you're picking there, but you're going to. That's the thing. See on the autos, you can auto the first couple of rounds, because you're going to get the ADP guy, and there's no one up there that you don't, you're not going to be happy having. So
No. Well,
if you're not
Graham's got
sure
his
what way
AJ
you want to
Brown.
go, I don't think it's the worst tactic in the world just to auto the first 3 rounds and then take it from there and see what you get and see what you're working with, and work it from there. That might be a good tactic. So there goes AJ Brown. Graham takes AJ Brown and for his first of his 2 first-round picks. I wonder if he'll take Jalen Hurts at 115 and go with the stack. That's an option for him for sure.
Well, that is a bit
Jamairy
because he's
Gibbs.
not
I'm very
another
big
pick
on
for the
Gibbs this
third.
year, so Alan's reached up a bit to get Gibbs. I mean, he wouldn't have come back at 207, so if he wanted him, he had to take him there.
I
And
knew
then
some
Shawnee's
bastard would take him.
got to go with his own guy, as well, Shawnee. So there goes Johnny Taylor.
Well, you knew Jameer Gibbs wasn't going to make it past me, so thanks. I thought Doug might have taken him ahead of me, but that's what Alan beat me instead. Thanks, Alan. Good.
Derek on the clock now. He's licking his wounds from a Kilmarnock loss today, so we'll see. I'm assuming he didn't travel all the way up to Aberdeen for it, otherwise he'd probably not be back by now.
Oh, he's gone 18.
Oh, that's a big reach, and it's a good reach to me. I love A-Chain. I absolutely love A-Chain. I think if he stays fit, he could be the #1 back this year. Absolutely,
Garrett Wilson. I think I'll go
100%.
for.
And Dougie
Well,
goes
yeah.
Garrett Wilson. I mean, there is no bad picks here. There's no bad picks here at all. Everyone's a first rounder. I'm not big on Garrett. I won't have Garrett Wilson anywhere this season. I just won't have him because I won't take him this early. I much prefer people around.
Well,
But I
safely
can
say, Doug,
absolutely get
you're
Doug
not.
taking him.
Doug, you're not going to snipe me for Malachi Corley now that you've got Garrett Wilson.
No, and Berrios will be yours as well. Is he still at the Jets?
I've no. Is he not in Miami? Oh no, he's in Miami.
Isn't
Right? I've no
Miami now?
idea where he
You're
is
right.
now.
Yeah. No, you're right. He's in Miami.
No.
And then Kyron Williams,
Not,
Johnny. That you happy with that one? You like that pick?
well, yeah. Well, I would rather have Jameer Gibbs, but that didn't last that far. So yeah, I do think I do like Kieran Williams. Obviously, because Barkley's a bastard, I can't pick him anymore. So it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So Graham's gone for he's gone for the
He's gone
Philly.
Brown Barkley, so he's going very heavy on the. Oh, he's an Eagles fan, isn't he? Of course.
Yes, yes.
He's fly. He's confident on his fly Eagles fly, Johnny. He's going for it.
He has. Although the one thing about Gibbs, obviously, because he's my keeper in the home league, is he going to be fit?
Have you got Gibbs? Have you?
That's my only keeper for
Yeah,
the Show Me the Money. Yeah, because
that's
the
a
rest of
good
my team's
keeper.
pile of
That is.
shit. So
I like Kieran Williams. I love Kieran Williams this year, I've got to say. And McVay, once he gets a hot hand, he sticks with it. The problem you have is if he's not a hot hand and he will go to Coram, and if Coram's a hot hand, he will flip them. But I love Williams, and I think he's going to be a hot hand this year, and I think he's going to do very well.
as long as he can
Graham's
stay
went
healthy.
Puka and Adams on the turn there, the 116, the 201. That surprises me. I've got to say that surprises me. I think Graham's on the trail of I'm going with people I've not got anywhere else here now with those 2 picks, I have to say. I mean, both great picks, Puka. I don't see how Puka can't have the same season as last season. He just can't, not with Cup being back. But he'll still have a very good season.
Yeah, there you go. It's gone ATN, so that's Arthur got. Who did he get first? He's got Brees Hall and ATN.
He's certainly got a good backfield, that's for sure. So back onto you, Johnny. Where are you? What are you looking at?
I want to go Pacheco, but that's 2 in bye week 6.
It's very, it just depends what way you want, how you want to build your team at this stage. Whether you want to build it with start with receivers and look to fill in with the backs, or start with the backs and look to fill in with receivers, or indeed if you want to spread it about. And you've always got to think of those onesie positions, because the two onesie positions are big positions, very, very important positions. And there's only so many tight ends. I know there's a lot more of them now, to be fair, but for me, it's you either take
I'll
one
go
of the top
Pacheco.
5 in the tight ends, or you punt.
I went for my man Pacheco. I seem to have him everywhere this year, so hopefully he does go well. But
Yeah, it's a great running back room you've put together there now. That's a good start. It doesn't surprise me that Doug's went down the 2 receiver route. It doesn't surprise me that Graham's went down the 2 receiver route. Marvin Harrison, he should be an absolute beast in Arizona. He really should. I worry it's his rookie season, and 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns would be a great season for him, and everyone would be raving about it. But it ain't going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a top 10 receiver. To be a top 10 receiver, you're looking at 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns minimum. And is he going to get that his rookie year?
Did he not predict he was going to beat the rookie record, which is how many? Is it 1,500?
Yeah, I don't see him, but I don't see it getting that. You've got to remember, I know Kyler Murray's back and stuff as well, but it is still Arizona. They've got a lot to prove.
And Murray does like to run as well. So
the defense are going to be all over Harrison from the get-go. Puka was a surprise. No one expected Puka. No one seen him coming. That's how he got so much so early. Harrison, they know he's coming. No one's in any way, shape, or form not knowing who he is. They know he's coming. They will prep for him. And then Derek Henry takes Derek King Henry off to play with Devin Achane.
Young
I
and
love
old
that backfield, I really do.
There's a couple of nice backfields, but the thing is, with 16 teams, there's only so many decent running backs.
Correct. And that's where they get, man. I get that, Doug. I really do get that, and I completely understand. And see, for the fact that what I said at the start, and I mean it, that this is a redraft league. It is redraft. But I get what Doug's saying there as well, because you know what? He could be keeping Harrison for 10 years. And that's one that you can take at this point. That's one that you can look to be a keeper. So whilst I'm not thinking about it as I'm going to have these guys for years, I'm thinking of it as a redraft. You have to consider that as well, in the sense that, that's a player that you can have for 10 years probably.
Definitely. So we've got
Olave, I love Olave. I'm just not sure I love him this year. I think that the Saints are doing nothing but going backwards. I actually think that Riddler might get in this year.
Oh, Spencer
in
Rattler.
New Orleans. That might be that might.
Apparently,
if
he's throwing the ball well today. Apparently,
it's they seem to be quite happy with him. They seem to be really happy with him in camp. So. We'll see what happens. And then Drake London, Alan goes Drake London. Again, it's the whole, he's a superstar, but a lot of mouths to feed over there now. And, it's still Atlanta. They've still got to prove themselves. So for me in the second round. And then Haldane gets his first pick, and his first pick is James Cook. So again, looking to shore up those running back positions in a 16-team league, which is not a bad idea. At the end of the day, there are more options at wide receiver than there are at running back. That's just fact. And with it only being 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, I am leaning towards picking up that's why I went Christian McCaffrey as well. Get that running back in there.
So Gary's
off again.
He went off again. He came on, so I can't force him because he was on.
No, he was on. Come on, Groovy. Get your backside in and get drafting, please. So this is fallen exactly pretty much how I was looking at it falling. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks to go before it gets to me. I know the 2 players that I want to fall to me. I will not be naming them now, obviously. I know the two players that I want to pick up here. And anyone to take either of them would have to stretch. Because I'm stretching a wee bit for them, but of course it's two players that don't come back. That's the thing here. I've got to look at this in the sense that it's a 16-team league. There are 31 picks before it comes back to me. So there are 31 guys that can go. So I've got to pick who I want in the next 31, because it's just such a wait to come back.
Yeah. Well, I have WhatsApp Gary again. This is like drafting with him all summer.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be on in a minute.
Hopefully. I know he does podcasts, but I don't know if he does one on a Sunday night or not.
Don't know, to be honest with you.
But he does like different,
yeah, I've not done the pod with Gary in a while. Actually, it's been a long time since we've done that, isn't it? Be nice to get back on that again.
Well, I think he's got a different one. They do one on a Sunday before kickoff, I think. Unless that was last year, I don't know if they're going to do that again. But yeah, just fit on the basis slagged off the Giants. It was loads of fun. Yeah, but he does a Formula One as well, I think, and obviously the Formula One was today, so he might be doing that. I don't know. I don't know what time he got back from Dublin, to be honest, if it might have been today. But I think Danny was at it as well. So, because obviously Danny lives in London, so it's easier. Dublin, it's easier for him.
Salmon Rat to kick his draft off. He'll get Kelsey if it's just an auto. Maybe he's set a queue, but if he's set a queue going auto.
Yeah, precisely. I do. If I'm in any drafts for the ones that are from abroad, if it's 1 or 2 picks away before going to bed, I'll set a queue. I'll not go on auto in case it fires back to me, but I'll email the mesh and say you can force what such and such picks just to keep it going.
Nice. I just fire them in, but we can't be waiting 5 minutes every round. That's so that's over an hour in itself. Do you know what I mean? So we'll certainly be speeding this up a little bit. That's nearly half an hour for 1.5 rounds.
I've got to do it on my phone because I hate typing this thing.
14 rounds to go. Haldane kicking his draft off with James Cook. I'll be very interested to see where he's got the four picks. He's got quarter of the picks in the 8th round. So it'll be good to see what his team looks like after that. But yeah, you have to remember as well, it is only 2 wide receivers in this league. It's not a 3 wide receiver league. So therefore, there's one less wide receiver you need to pick basically. And it's that again leans me over to the wide receivers. And see with the shortness of the bench, he's only 5 on the bench. There's no way in this world or the next I'm taking 2 quarterbacks. It's just not happening. There we go. He's there. He's on.
No, he went on auto again.
Or he went on auto again.
Right.
So he's away with Mike Evans. So that was obviously him though, because Mike Evans was not next up.
No, she's obviously set a queue. He just never went on auto.
So that's him on auto now. So hopefully we'll get moving. Right, Ross, back in, please. Well, it's time to go.
For those watching, if he does come back off auto, I'm changing the clock to 3 minutes. Because if he does that again, that's a long wait, and everybody doesn't get bored.
Well, that's what's happening. You can see that Ross's went off, Haldane's off, Batch is off.
Come on,
you're on Ross. Off. Ross is off, and it's on him. Yeah, Johnny, I think we need to change this clock. Put in the message board on the draft that we're changing the clock to 2 minutes because we can't be, or 3 minutes because we can't be waiting 5 minutes every time. There's Ross in now. But we want to get this moving. This draft needs to move. There's 224 picks need to be made. Right, Ross, where are you going here now? Who's joining Bejan in your backfield? Are you going a onesie here? The onesies are coming up, they're at the top. Brandon Ayuk still available. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is moving up the draft board quite considerably, isn't he?
Yeah. Definitely.
I
But
don't think he was that high up before.
I'll put it in the main chat. I'm going to change it to 3 minutes at the turn. And we'll see how we get on. But 2 minutes is not a lot for some people, Doug, because some people are used to drafting 16 teams and keepers. But
it's I mean, 2 minutes is more than enough, you know, it is, but leave it 3 now to get and see if we can get it moving.
Yeah,
and
we
if
can
it
always
needs to
go
go
to
to
2
2,
in a
then it
couple
needs
of
to go to
rounds. But
2.
stick to 3 in a bit.
It's getting I'm running out of things to say. Cooper Cup there, but Cooper Cup, he's reached down for Cooper Cup, so that was one that I was looking at for my turn here. So
I didn't think he would make it back.
I mean, I've got like 4 or 5 options that I want, you know. Cup was one of the ones I was kind of, if one of the other ones, one of my 2 main ones, if one of them didn't make it, Cup was the next one I wanted. So Alvin Kamara, so that's Haldane put together James Cook and Alvin Kamara in his backfield. Good tactic, good way to go. Suarez Power is the first one to pick the onesie. He's went with Sam Laporta. And again, see between Laporta and Kelsey right now, if you think that they're going to be the same this year and they're going to have roughly the same, then you go with Laporta because he's younger and he's a potential keeper, you know? And then there's Debo off. I like the Debo pick with Ayuk up in the air. You know, I do love the Debo pick. It's I think it's going to be his year in San Francisco. It kind of has to be, really, doesn't it? It's if Ayuk goes and if he stays, you know, they're going to need to get the best out of him. And then first one to pull the trigger on the quarterback there, Josh Allen goes at 214 for Tony.
Well, it's not too bad. He's only got 4 more picks and he's back on again, and not as if he's took in the middle and stuck a bit. So you will get another good player on the way back. There goes Josh.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just before you.
No issue with taking Josh Allen there. You know, if you're wanting Josh Allen, that's where you have to take him. It's as simple as that. You know, and then Josh Jacobs goes to Chris again. Not one I was looking at. So the 2 that I wanted to fall to me have fallen to me, and you know, my options here: I pick up a running back, or you know, load up a wide receiver room. I'm going to leave the running back for now because I've got McCaffrey in there and I like that as my first choice there. I'm going to drift into the wide receivers. I'm going to take 2 of them. I'm going to take one who I think is going to get a lot of action this year, and that is DJ Moore in Chicago. I think he will be the number 1 pick for the number 1 target all season long for Caleb Williams. And then I'm going to reach down even further with this one, and I'm going to be picking up Malik Neighbours. Not because I think he's a keeper option as much as because he isn't getting back to me the next round, and I think he's going to be getting everything in New York this year. So
there we go.
I absolutely think that that is exactly how my mock draft went. McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Malik Neighbours. That's exactly where I went, exactly how I went about it. It is playing out exactly how I wanted at the moment.
Well, Derek, that was Craig. My co-host had the first giant off the board.
Yes, your co-host has the first giant off the board. It could have been. I could have done it in round 2, Derek. I saved it to round 3 specifically. I don't think Neighbours. I don't think Neighbours can do a Puka. I don't think that at all. Ha 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 ha. But I didn't take Malik Neighbours in the first 10 wide receivers. Ha 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 ha. And I don't think he's going to get back to me at the 416. Therefore, I had to take him if I wanted him. Ha 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 ha.
Brilliant.
Point in case. Trey McBride, love that pick. Think he's going to be massive this season, and that's another problem that I foresee for Harrison as well. Trey McBride, he's going to get a lot of action this year, I think, and with Harrison going to be double coveraged a lot, Kyler will go for Trey McBride.
Oh, there goes Jalen Hurts before Graham can get him.
4 ways to make you look stupid, Douglas. And then Suarez Power, he's after the onesie, so there you go. He's Jamar Chase. I don't hate this. I don't hate it either, and that's what Tony's done as well. They've both went with the onesies in the 2nd and 3rd round. So I mean, they're going to have those two positions for them are going to be stronger than 90% of the teams that they play this year.
Oh,
The
definitely.
question
They've
is,
got a good
can they
start.
fill in the running backs and wide receivers later on, and get the right ones that are going to go well, So I don't hate the start. I don't hate that way to go about it. I really don't.
Yeah. From that, we'll be
Haldane
on.
on the
See who
clock
goes
now.
for next.
He's got Alvin Kamara and James Cook, so you can't imagine this will be running back. I can only see him going wide receiver here unless he goes for a onesie. But I mean, the onesies are kind of he might take part, I guess.
Jalen
Travis
Waddle.
Kelce's still there. Mark Andrews, a great option at tight end. He'll get a lot of action as always in Baltimore. Kincaid might have very good chance he ends up the top receiver of the number one quarterback off every board in the game.
Yeah. And you take the gamble on Kyle Pitts to let you down again and break somebody's heart like you do every other year.
Yeah, I've got see, Ingram's starting to draw more and more attention from me. And I've been very cold on all the Jaguars this year, but I'm starting to heat up on Ingram a bit. But he's just going in that kind of dead zone for tight ends, I think, where it's kind of, if I've not taken one by that point, then I'm kind of punting it to the back end of the draft, because I've not got one of the top ones.
Well, if Ross doesn't take
Although I
Kelsey,
do,
the music, unless Gary's got a queue, Gary will line it with him.
Billers has came up a bit, and he's he's going a bit earlier as well now. There goes Jalen Waddle. So that's he's wide receiver one for Haldane this year's Jalen Waddle. No issue with that whatsoever. I think he'll get a lot of action. I think he'll
He
go.
will
I mean,
be.
he has to be better than last year.
Well, he had
Can't,
his moments,
can't
but
not be more.
obviously he got injured a couple of times last year. Well, both of them did actually. But I think they're both. It all depends on Tua.
I mean, he'll do fine indoors. He'll do fine in the heat. He'll do fine in those games. As soon as you get a little bit of weather, forget about Tua. So, and that's just how it's going to be. But they'll go absolutely fine. They're a high octane offense. They've got speed absolutely everywhere, and they'll score a lot of points. There's no getting away from it. Ross isn't on again. Come on, Ross. You're slowing us down. There he is. Hello, Ross. So he's got Bejan and he's got Cup. So what do you do now? Do you he's got Kelsey. Yeah.
Ruby's got
Listen,
Lamar.
Kelsey at 307 is a bit of a steal, especially in a 16-team league. That's late on for Travis. And I get it. But it's not a dynasty league. It's a keeper league. It's
I
a
was sort of
redraft
hoping he'd
every
make it
year
to me,
apart
but
from
it didn't
4
happen.
players. But and then Gary's went Lamar Jackson, so he's filtered in. He's quarterback and one with a lot of legs. So great pick there for him. I mean, it's very difficult to have a bad pick at this stage of the draft. Every player that's going right now is a superstar.
Or potential superstar.
It's all about the team building and making sure that you get the guys now for the positions where you're not quite comfortable with later on. Graham's up now. He's got AJ Brown. He's very Eagle heavy, so with AJ and Saquon. So I bet you he was hoping Jalen Hurts made it along to him. I bet you he's gutted that he never got Jalen Hurts.
Definitely.
And then he comes with Michael Pittman to join AJ Brown in his wide receiver room. Again, he should be. He is the target in Indianapolis. I'm not sure they've got all that much more. I mean, the rookie might be okay, but you can keep your Downs and your whoever else that they've got there for me.
Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce, that's the one. Yeah, you can keep them as. I'm going to touch them in the
their
last
tight ends like nobody knows, like Granson.
Exactly. I mean, they've got about 15 of them, don't they? But no one's really, It's so yeah. I mean, Michael Pittman should be the proper main target for Richardson.
So who's Allen going to go for then?
Allen's up now. He's got one back, one receiver, so it's totally open to him. He can pick whoever he wants here. So I'm guessing when you've got 1-1, then you're looking for best player available that he likes, and Devontae Smith. Very good pick.
That is a good
They're all
pick.
very
Then we've
good.
got
They're all very
Sean.
good at this point in time. Devontae Smith, I think, is more of a he's a lot safer than Drake London. You're going to get points from Devontae Smith, but Drake London has got a much bigger ceiling. So I like what Alan's done there. He's got one guy that will get him his regular points, and then he's got a guy that's got a massive ceiling, but will probably bust out some weeks.
Quite a few weeks actually.
On now with Taylor and Olave under his
Who do you think
belt,
is going
who's
to
he
go
going to
for
pick
then?
up again? It's open to him to what he wants to do. He can do whatever he wants here. He's got one running back. He's got one wide receiver. So I'm guessing he's looking for best player available. Ayuk is slipping down this draft, by the way.
There you go.
Can he?
Second
Joe
running back, Joe
Mixon.
Mixon. Didn't expect that one.
I'm very cold on Joe Mixon this year, I've got to say. Then DK Metcalf for Derek. I think he'll do just fine.
There goes Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I think Smith will be great. I think Smith will do you really well, Alan. It's a very good pick up there. And then Dougie boy, he's went to Mark Andrews. What Doug's going for here? Do you know what Doug's going for here? He's going for volume of targets because Garrett Wilson is the far and away the number one in New York. Marvin Harrison is far and away the number one in Arizona. Yes, he's got Trey McBride, but he's a far and away the number one wide receiver. And Mark Andrews is one of those tight ends who very much could and probably will end up the top target in Baltimore for Lamar Jackson. So I see what he's doing there. He's going for absolute volume of targets. Boom, boom. There you go.
You've got a tight end run, Craig.
I don't like giving Douglas any credit whatsoever, but if the ball's getting thrown to you that often, you can't fail to get the point. So it's a very good tactical way of going. Is that Jake Ferguson gone?
Yeah, that's Arthur taking Jake Ferguson.
Okay then.
I do like him, but I'm not sure I'd take him in the third round. But
that's a bit of a reach.
Gone.
Great.
Tank Dell and George Kittle.
Graham was rubbing his hands in delight there as Tank Dell fell to him with Jake Ferguson going. And now Graham's going for the zero running backs strategy here. He's went Dell and Kittle on the turn. Again, it's one of those ones where Graham, the tight end seems to slip past him, so I get him taking one there. That's where he's at. And Christian Watson, he seems to be the number one Green Bay picker again in the wide receiver room. He's not for me. I'll have Jaden Reed and I'll have Romeo Doubs before him. So, but again, he has the last few drafts that I've done. He has went the first Green Bay wide receiver. I just think there's too many mouths to field in Green Bay, and they're all going to get fed. I don't think anyone's going to knock out the park. I think they're all going to be
on to you, Doug.
And Terry McLaurin, great pick, Johnny, with Dotson moving on. Again, that's volume of targets. He's going to get it all from Daniels there.
I still wanted to pick Ayuk, but I can't pick him as a third wide receiver, especially if he ends up in fucking Pittsburgh, because that's a dumpster fire, that one. But yeah, nice pick there, guys. I almost went Kenneth Walker as well, but I thought I can't start off with bloody two running backs, a tight end, and another running back.
Yeah,
three running backs would
have been heavy.
Nice
I love Kenny Walker this year as well. Oh, and there Alan's no happy.
There's Ayuk. Sean took him.
So Sean got me there. I mean, listen, if he gets his move, then the second half of the season you're looking at before he really gets into his stride. But then you're coming into playoff time and you've got a guy who's supposed to be a top class running back. And if he stays in San Francisco, you've got to think he's got playing for a contract next year. He's not just going to sit and. Yeah, I agree. Ayuk's going to be a niner.
Alan, that's what you get for taking Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round.
Yeah, Alan does like his Kenny Walker as well, I've got to say. So but volume of touches again. He's going to be the man. He's going to be getting a lot of touches in Seattle. He really is. I know people say Charbonnet is there, and he is, but he's a good change of pace. Charbonnet is a good backup, but Kenny Walker's the number one. Yeah, I agree. It's if he wasn't going past it, I was hoping he was going to get along to me, but it was more. I knew he wasn't. Game's going for the proper zero running back. I love that. I want to see how it works out. So Alan's now cussing. Whilst cussing Doug, looking and seeing who's the next running back. Who's the next running back I can take? Who's the next running back I can take? The guy who I got, who I'm waiting on coming back, is still there. So I'm hoping that he makes it. And then there we go. So James Conner for Allen again. The volume of touches that he's going to get, Johnny, it's, you know.
Yeah, he's got to stay fit. That's the problem with Connor. But
They
should have a good
lies the
offense.
problem.
So.
You're absolutely spot on, correct here, Johnny.
But if you go a couple of years ago, remember he had a lot of catches when you first went to Arizona. So he was a
I mean,
PPR
he's
machine that
definitely
time.
catchable.
So, when he first went to there, he was a PPR machine. So, and Murray's back in it. He likes throwing to him. So, it's a good pick.
I don't know a lot about the new guy Benson, but is he a catching running back, or is he more of
he's meant to be, but I don't think he's really done much.
He's done nothing. He's still behind DeMarcado in the depth chart. I mean, that's.
So there goes
I'm
Kyle
so
Pitts
cold
to Gary, to Graham, sorry. And then Gary auto save level. So Gary's auto and 0 running back too, so he could be in a bit of trouble. Just pick up all the running backs and trade them to Gary.
Well, I mean, Graham's not got one either, but do you know what? He's got that Baltimore stack there that might work out just fine, you know. And it's, as I say, Zay Flowers is probably the first wide receiver that in Baltimore that I actually like in a long time. So
I don't know much about the rookie. They've got a new rookie. Was it Walker?
Walker.
But I've not
I
seen much
hope he's
about
good
him,
because I've picked him up in a couple of dynasties, but you know, he's not one of the top rookie wide receivers. That's so it's how good is he possibly going to be this year?
Neither was Puka,
is the question, you know.
Then there goes
Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the 410. It's 16-team league, 410 for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's hard not to like that, you know. It's you're getting them so late on.
Well, he's got the stat.
And there goes Rashid Rice. See this Rashid Rice thing. Did you notice that someone's been suspended for 5 games now? Who was it? Zay Jones in Arizona has been suspended for 5 games, right? For a battery charge that was thrown out. So he got no charges. And he still got a 5-game suspension. Rashid Rice has got 8 felony charges sitting on him, and he's ready to play. Now, if Rashid Rice plays a whole season, 411's an absolute steal. But he's been going a lot later than that.
Yes,
then you've got George Pickens, Christian Kirk. I just don't see how Rashid Rice can't get a big suspension. 5 games for a charge that was withdrawn. Surely Rashid Rice has got to be 6 or more. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
There was some suspensions handed out yesterday in the NFL, like for defensive players. And they were getting Zay Jones, was it 8 games? No, 5 games.
5 games. 5 games and the charges were dropped.
Yeah, so I know.
You know, but we'll see what happens.
That one. Yeah.
And then Suarez, do you know Christian? I'm worried for Christian Kirk with Brian Thomas. You know, I think Brian Thomas is, by all accounts, looking very good, and he's getting a lot of chat.
He looked good at the weekend.
That worries me a wee bit for Christian Kirk, I have to say. George Pickens, I love George Pickens, you know.
But the Jacksonville first team were out at the weekend, and obviously Davis was getting targets, Ingram was getting targets, Thomas was getting targets, Etienne was getting dropped up and having a couple of runs. But I only saw the highlights bit, but I never heard Christian Kirk get mentioned at all, so I don't even know if he played. But the rest of the first team seemed to play. You don't know if he's fit or if he's just resting him. I'm not sure. But yeah, there goes Stefan Diggs and then Aaron Jones.
There's quite a few teams here with no running backs, you know. Tony's went no running back. He's added Stefan Diggs.
Yeah. Ewan's got none since Suarez power.
Chris has went Jacobs and Jones for his running backs. Love that. That's very heavily NFC North. And it's came back round to me. And the player who I've been picking up in all of my mocks is still sitting there. So I'm going to be taking him. And that's, I've got to go running back here. I want to fill out my running back room here now, you know. And there's going to be a lot of running backs go before it comes back to me here because there's like 4 teams without a running back yet. So I've got to fill out my running back room here for me. And to do that, well, you know, my RB1, RB2. And to do that, I'm going to pick up another guy who I think is going to have a lot of touches and therefore a lot of action. And that is Ramondre Stevenson.
I thought you would pick him up, so I didn't know what to say on the screen, but yeah.
And then it's me again. And so this time, now that I've got two running backs locked in there, I know not a lot of running backs are going to come back round, but I'm happy with that. I like that. And I'm going to flip to a guy who I think is going to. What did I do here last time? Actually, I think I took Brock Bibbles in the mocks, but I'm not going to do that here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take another guy who I think is going to get a lot of action this year and a lot of touches this year, and I'm going to stretch down a little bit and pick up Calvin Ridley because again I don't think he'll come back. And I'm going to make my running back room DJ Moore, Malik Neighbours, and Calvin Ridley. Now Ridley and Moore they will get their touches. They have to get their touches because they're the first look for their quarterbacks in like 90% of the plays that they're throwing plays. And Neighbours is the wild card in there that could do nothing, could do everything, you know. So I really like that running back room, and I'm comfortable with McCaffrey and Stevenson at running back. So, you know, my team's starting to take a bit of shape now. I've got 3 wide receivers, I've got 2 running backs. Very happy with all 5 of them. And then Chris has went the same way. He's went 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. He's got Jacobs, Jones, and then at wide receiver, Josh Jacobs and Jones, and at wide receiver, he's got Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins, and T. Higgins. Very good wide receiver. I love the wide receiver room. My problem with Jacobs and Jones this season is that they're older running backs gone to new teams, and that always worries me a little bit. Not so much as I think Jacobs will do just fine, but it really worries me with Jones. Although Jones should get a lot of action now that McCarthy's out, you know, they will run the ball a lot more.
Nice pick for Tony there, especially if Gibbs is out a bit, then you've got Montgomery. So that's a nice. He will do well again because they both do pretty good. So.
Montgomery's a guy you can absolutely put in your first team, and he will get you points every week. But and if Gibbs gets an injury, he could be a championship winner. You know, it turns Montgomery into one of the top backs. You know, he'll get the most. He'll get a heck of a lot of touches.
There's your pal, Chris
Godwin for
Godwin.
bench.
Oh, I was hoping Worthy was going to make it back to me.
So Tony's went Josh Allen and Trey McBride in the onesies. He's only got 1 running back in David Montgomery, and he's got 2 wide receivers in CeeDee Lamb and Stephen Diggs. Benji's went heavy running back, 4 of them: Jeffries, Samuels, Kirk, and Godwin, and Rashid White in at running back. Suarez Powers got his onesies sorted out with Jalen Hurts and Sam Laporta, and 3 wide receivers with Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Xavier Worthy. No running backs yet in the Suarez Power lineup.
Yep.
And then Haldane, he's got Alvin Kamara, he's got James Cook, and then he's went Waddle, Rice, and Reed, Jaden Reed in his wide receiver room. Actually, I mean, if Rice doesn't get suspended, it's a very good wide receiver room that for where he's picked him up as well. You know, Jaden Reed he should get a lot of touches in Green Bay. There's no reason for him not to. Jalen Waddle will get plenty, and Rice is a no-brainer if he's not suspended.
So where's Ross going to go this time? Oh, Roma Dunce. Then we've got DeAndre Swift auto to Gary.
So Ross is now on his onesies sorted out. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. He's got Bejan in the running back room, and Cooper Kupp and Roma Dunze. And Gary's got his Flowers, Evans, and St. Brown at wide receiver. DeAndre Swift at running back, his first running back, and Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Graham's taking Anthony Richardson, so he's sorted out his onesies as well with Richardson and Pitts. He's got Pittman and Brown as well, and he's also got
Barkley.
Saquon Barkley in his running back room because of his trade. Yeah, Graham, to be honest with you should have traded with me the 101. And then you've got Allen just went Ingram. So yeah, I mean the tight ends are falling now. The tight ends are falling. That's kind of me very much at punt zone now. No, there's one that I would take if he came back to me, but he won't. But other than that, I'm punting the tight end to the back end now for sure. Sean's up. I mean, Olave and Ayuk, that could be, if they can play to their potential, it's a great wide receiver room, and he's got JT and Joe Mixon. I mean, Mixon's one of these, you know,
There you go, Samir White.
He gets a lot of points, but he gets a lot of points because of the volume of touches that he gets. You know, if you look at his yards per carry and stuff like that, it's terrible. And yeah, Mixon for me, he's very much. I'm cold on him this year. I've got to say. Sean followed that one up with Zamir White, so yeah, I mean that's very good backup for Mixon and Taylor. You know, he should be the number one there in Las Vegas, and he should be getting plenty of touches. And there you go, Derek's taking the one that I would have taken if he came back, and I knew he wouldn't. But Brock, I'm very big on Brock Bowers this year. I think he's going to get a lot of the ball in Vegas.
That's the
And then
problem
we're on
ones that do
Douglas is
watch
going
the
to
show.
talk.
Yeah.
So
That's
Sean,
the problem ones that do watch the show. They know who you like because you say it in one show.
well, that's it. You know, it's I'm not exactly playing my cards close to my chest, am I? Derek's went with Bowers to add to Cooper and Metcalf as receivers and Henry and
Oh, there
A-Chain in
goes
the running back
Tyler.
room. Oh, he knows why he done that. And do you know what? I don't even care that he done it because that ain't where I went. That ain't where I'm going. I know exactly the quarterback I'm looking for.
Oh, I'm going to take a punt on
And
Brian
I mean, I
Thomas.
love Kyler Murray this year. Kyler Murray is going to be massive, but I've got him everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So there was no Kyler Murray for me here. I couldn't, and not without stacking them. But I love the stack that Doug's went with there as well. For sorry, he's got Marvin as well, so that's a great stack. I love that stack. And then there you've went and taken the guy that I took in the 6th round in my mocks. So thank you very much for that, Johnny.
No worries. Well, no,
Yeah,
I had to have a wee reach, but I think he will have a good game. Good team.
you have
Well, not a good
you've
team, but
you've
they'll get the targets. There goes CJ.
you've reached well down there for Thomas, Johnny. You really have, but I don't blame you one bit because, as I say, I think he's been drafted. I think that's about where he should be getting drafted, you know. And he certainly, well, you might have got him 6'3", but you wouldn't have got him after that because he was going in my turn if he made it along. And love that pick. And then CJ Stroud goes to Batch. So I can't understand that Jake Ferguson pick. It's screaming out at me as the silly one that's been done, you know.
Well, there's always
It's where I'm
one.
going to
Remember,
finally relent and take a back.
they're going to come back online to make it. But yeah,
Oh, he's off mine, so he has.
come on. There's never been the daft first pick when we had Ray took out Andy Dalton in the 102 or something like that. When he first joined the Show Me the Money draft. Was it 105? I think he had. He took Andy Dalton. That made everybody scrambling about, going, "Who the fuck?" That didn't. The draft was out the window with that one because nobody expected to get a player they thought we were going to get after he picked that. But then that was his first year. He is getting a wee bit better, and he's doing well now actually. But he just can't quite get to the playoffs.
The thing is, I mean, picks go like you know, you picks it. Remember, I took Leonard Hankerson first round to Show Me the Money one year,
Yeah, that was
and
your.
it was
You had him in your queue, did you not? And
I had him in my
you
queue, and
lost the
that's
internet, and
kind
you
of
went an auto pick.
that back in the days of back in the days of dial-up. I think that was. I mean, I think that was year 2 or something like that. But yeah, I had him in my because I wanted to remember him for later on, and yeah, he went round one. You know, shit happens. You just got to think, right? My round one. You know, see when that happens, you just got to think. My round one got a season-long injury. That's it. It's gone. No, I didn't blame Carol. I blamed the internet,
No,
which is
he
what
blamed the
happened.
internet. There you go. Got Mostert and Burrow for Graham.
Yeah, I don't.
I like the
With
Mostert pick
Kyler going, I
actually.
think Graham would have been wanting Kyler to come back there. I've got to say, but most starts, you know, he's going to get plenty of touches in Miami. And if, if you're getting your RB1 at 5'16", most starts a good guy to be getting.
Oh, he's got 2 quarterbacks now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
yeah. I'm not understanding where Batch is going. I've got to say that's
who am I going to go for?
pretty crazy. So on
I
to
think
you,
you're trying to
Johnny.
go.
You've got Terry McLaurin, you've got Brian Thomas and wide receivers. You've got Kyron Williams and Isaiah Pacheco at running back, and you've got Dalton Kincaid at tight end. Where are you going here? Are you finishing your onesies and filing in a quarterback? Are you panicking about the run a quarterback's going? Or are you
No, well, I
settling for
was
a
going to
back
go a
in
quarterback,
wide
but I'm just
receiver?
not sure who to go for and who might make it back. It's pretty fucking
I've
dire
got
at the
to say,
bottom.
I'm not happy with what's happening with the quarterbacks here because there's a lot of them going quite early, and it does worry me that it
I'll
will
go Brock because he's the scheming well. So I've got onto
Yeah, I
Baxter.
mean, you just thought,
Like if
there's no reason why he
there
shouldn't
wasn't
have a
three
4,000
quarterbacks
yard
since my
year.
last pick, three quarterbacks from my last pick, I would not have picked a quarterback, but thought I better pick one of the ones that could end up in the top 15 or whatever.
Doug's been talking JSN up massively today. I don't know. He must have, I don't know. He must have caught a ball and.
Well, if you had a third round bonus, third round bonus, he'd be great. Because he was the go-to man last year for the third down catches. He got a lot of third down catches.
Maybe back end of the season, but he was less than irrelevant for fantasy football last year. And don't get me wrong, I think he'll be a lot more relevant this year. But just how relevant, I'm not as high on him as Doug is. Let's put it that way. And with Kenny Walker already in, I think he's a bit heavy on the Seattle. After loving what he's done earlier on, I don't mind the JSN pick if you don't have Kenny Walker, but with Kenny Walker there as well, it's heavy on an offense that's been led by Geno Smith for me. Then Jordan Love goes for Del Boy in 605. So that's his onesie positions locked up as well. Now he's got Love and Bowers, and I think both are great, obviously.
Yeah, we've got Sean up.
And then we're on to Sean again. And Naj. So there it goes. So Sean's filling out the running back room. So I think he's looking at these running back shy teams and thinking, I'm going to be trading.
Yeah, well, he does like a trade. So
he doesn't have a tight end. Sean loves his tight end.
Well, maybe he's after somebody's
so
tight
you
end.
keep saying, Dougie, we'll see. It's been led by Geno Smith at the end of the day, and I don't care how high octane it's going to be. It's been led by Geno Smith, and that worries me. He could be great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying JSN's a bust. I'm far from it. He's a fantastic receiver, but he was a bust last year. And Lockett's still there, and Metcalf's still there, and Walker's still there, and Charbonnet's still there. I just don't see how he comes all that much further on,
Yeah, the teams are coming along nicely.
I am on the Team Naj over Team Warren, as you know. So I like the fact that Sean's locking up those running backs. That's keeping them away from other players as well. And you can play them all.
You can play them all,
absolutely play with the 3 flex spots are open to any, so they can all play. And it's on to Alan now. So how many teams don't have quarterbacks now? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Arthur's got 2. So Sean, Alan,
5, 6. 6 teams without a quarterback. So 10 teams have got quarterbacks. 6 more teams without a quarterback. How many people are going to take? I know someone, there's already 2 away, but who's going to take a second quarterback this early? Do you know what the thing is? You can only play 1 quarterback, and you're still filling your first team. So you've just filled it. You've just filled a bench spot when you've got open slots in your first team. So you're taking someone much further down for your first team, so you can have a guy sitting on your bench every week. No, I get fair enough.
Alan's a
fair
bit
enough,
stuck.
Dougie, but you're not taking him as a starter. So you're wanting him to be better than wide receiver 40.
I think Alan's doesn't know
certainly want him to be a lot better than wide receiver. You want him to be a lot better than wide receiver 51. That's absolutely for sure. But you're taking him as a starting wide receiver. You're taking him to get better than wide receiver 40. And he might be. There's absolutely a road to JSN being a top 20 wide receiver this year. It's just not a road that I want to be on, because I think it's a very, very rocky one.
Which that could be good by the end of the season. But
I mean, that's a championship winning pick. That is, I'm chasing the championship, and he's going to be just finding his feet and getting into his stride as we hit playoffs. So no problem with that pick. It's a good pick, and especially when you've got Connor and Gibbs there to be taking the top 2 spots. Week in, week out, provided Connor stays fit. Then we're on to Graham now. He's already got 2 Eagles, so you got to think he's not going to be going a 3rd Eagle. Where will he be going? Pollard's still there, and the Joku's there for he's got a tight end, hasn't he? Pollard's there. Allen's still there for Chicago. I know a lot of people are high on Keenan Allen. I think he's going to be in the mouth that doesn't get fed,
There you
But
go. Tony Williams.
there you go. Tony Pollard goes.
Oh, Tony
Then
Pollard.
Gary
Then
takes
John.
Williams. For picking your running backs in the 5th round and 6th round, you've got two guys here that are going to be the number one running backs for the starting running back for their team at the beginning of the season, So you got to think that's not a disaster. And
Yeah,
anyway,
I have to
and you've
say,
got that Baltimore stack there for Gary. Gary's sneaky okay, with Amon-Ra there, and Mike Evans should go fine again in Tampa, no reason for him not to. And a couple of starting running backs in the 5th and 6th.
yeah,
Sneaky okay.
He's auto okay with that one, actually.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's better than he'd have done if he was doing it himself.
Ouch.
Just kidding, Gary.
He's not really.
No, he's not. Ross is up now, and his onesies are locked up. He's got 2 wide receivers and a running back, so you got to think he's looking towards a running back here. You're running out of running back options that you're comfortable with. Then you're taking swings. You're starting to take swings at this point. I mean, there's plenty ones there to take swings on.
Yeah.
But you're not plugging them in. Most of the running backs that are left, you're not plugging them into your starting lineup.
There goes Dak.
With any great confidence, week on week, Jalen Warren, that's
a good run.
That fills up his running back room with Bijan, and then Haldane's went for Prescott, so he's jumped for his quarterback. Suarez Powrett's on now, got onesie positions done. Oh no, he's went Devin Singletary. Sorry, so that again, Singletary's your first running back. That in the 7th, 6th round, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, he is a starter, so yeah.
He is a starter. Exactly. I mean,
they are shit, but he's still a starter.
I mean, I don't even know that I think he's going to be a kind of bell cow to begin with, certainly, until Tracy gets up to speed or Gray does something. But I see Singletary being a bell cow there.
Yeah.
I just think Giants are going to try and find a way to get the ball into Malik Neighbours' hands as often as they possibly can. And if that means them coming out the backfield from time to time, I can see that happening. Can you?
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get murdered trying it. Yeah. Well, then he's got a good connection with Slayton, Ken. So you've also got Slayton too. So there go Trevor Lawrence to Benjamin. So he's still only got one running back, but he's got his quarterback.
Another quarterback.
He's paired him up with Christian Kirk though, so he's stacked him with Kirk.
He has, yeah. That's. I mean, I'm a big fan of stacking, and I'm stacking a wide receiver and a quarterback. And I don't just mean not just for best ball. I'm a big fan of doing it in managed teams as well because it can win you games, And sure, if that team has a bad week, then you're behind and you might lose. But it wins you weeks, and it'll win you more weeks, and it'll lose you.
And of course, Benjamin, you tell your boy Trevor to tie up those locks and just throw the ball to Brian Thomas and forget about Kirk.
Well,
especially when I'm playing against you.
I am not a fan of Trevor Lawrence. You know that. It's I'm very cold on the whole Jags offense this year. Although getting a little bit hotter on Ingram, I've got to say, but that's the only one that I've got any kind of. I know Thomas as well. Sorry, I've got a wee bit of love for Thomas now, but
there you go,
I don't see anything but regression for them this year in terms of the team.
So I've got a question for you, Craig. Do you want me to do the fixture similar to Show Me the Money, where you're playing division rounds at the beginning and end?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I can use the same template as I can use the same template as Show Me the Money anyway. So I just have to copy the teams out in the spreadsheet. So just anybody that is watching, when the fixtures come out when this finishes, they will not be the fixtures, unless it just so happens that we can look through it, and if the divisions are playing against each other, then we don't have to do anything.
Basically, you play your division. You play the 3 teams in your division first 3 games and the last 3 games of the season, and you're playing the rest of your other games in between. But your divisional matchups go first 3 and last 3.
That's the best way of doing it. Then you're playing for the division and the playoffs, and it makes it a bit more fun. especially in your division and the
Absolutely.
Show Me the Money. That's brutal.
It's the best way to do it, you know, because at the end of the day, you're playing, you know, you want to win your division as well. And if this league goes as well, you know, we Show Me the Money now. I get a lot of pride in winning that division. You know, it's sticking it to Dan. I know Sean's got all the rings, but he's not got all the divisions. You
No.
know, he
Yeah,
might be able,
but
he might be able to win Show Me the Money, but he seems to, he doesn't top our division when he goes on and wins it.
Well, then, in fairness, I'm the one that's usually playing against you. Ends up being the number one seed. He doesn't win anything, but he always ends up the top
Oh,
regular
he's
season
number one
champion.
seed, yeah, mate.
Then you fucking blows
Michael,
it. There you go.
Michael regular season Amos.
Yes.
So there,
Yeah, he's
Benji's
fucking great in the
Trevor
regular
Lawrence.
season. There you go. Tony's gone for Deontay Johnson. That's not a bad one too. I do like, I do like Deontay Johnson too much.
I think it's a volume thing there. I like him very much in this for this season as well, because again, I think it's going to be a volume thing. I think he's going to get a lot of the ball.
Yeah.
Certainly thrown towards him. Whether it's thrown well towards him or not, it's maybe up for debate a little bit
Well,
more.
I
But
know it's
it'll be
only
thrown
pre-season,
towards
but
him.
that one drive that Bryce Young did at the weekend, there he had a good drive. He was like
Yeah, I mean,
6
he'll
for
be
8 for 80
better.
yards and a touchdown, including a
He,
27-yarder to. Yeah, he has to
he'll
get
be.
better. Basically.
How much better is the question, though, because he needs to be a lot better to be relevant. So there goes Keenan Allen. He's went at the 6:15. It's now dropped on to me at 6:16. I have two running backs, three wide receivers. At this point, I was going Brock Bowers, but he's obviously not came close to making it. So I'm now starting to think that, you know, if I'm looking at running backs because, you know, you need that running back safety net. And, you know, I like Brian Robinson. Spears will do fine. You know, the Chargers guys are still there. The Dallas boys are still there. You know, Ford's still there. There are options here.
There is.
And then if I'll go over and I look at wide receiver, there's not a lot of wide receiver. You know, I'm cold in Addison. McConaughey's in a muddling receiver room. I'd probably rather take Parker later on. You know, I think they'll both get as much chance as each other of being the number one. So I would rather go Parker later. Hollywood's injured and I'm just not a fan. Keon Coleman, you know, could be the number one in Buffalo, but not, you know, I've got him in Dynasty's hot. Yeah. And I'm away down to Sutton, where I think, right, I'm going off kilter here. I'm going to take Sutton here because I
Oh, you
think
bastard.
he's going to be the number one there, and I think Bo Nix is better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. But then I'm forgetting I've got to go again. And now the question is, I'm going to need to take my quarterback here, Johnny, because I don't think he's going to come back to 8-16, which is where I was picking him up in my mocks. But because I've got DJ Moore, I'm going to stack
Caleb
him
Williams.
with the new guy, and I'm going to take my swing with Caleb Williams in this league because I've not got him anywhere else. I've got no intention of having him anywhere else.
There goes Jared Goff next as well. So I've got another quarterback running the other way. Doug's got a question on the screen for you, Craig.
Because I'm meant to know, Johnny. I mean, what? Yeah, sorry. This is Stato man over here himself, you know, asking
I
me.
know. He's probably got it up on
So,
another screen, checking the history just to get it all right. So
of course he
there you go.
is.
There,
Of
Tony's
course
got
he is.
Brian Robinson. That's a good one there for the 7th round.
From the side, Dougie comment from the sidelines, Baxter, you know. Brian, you know,
Well,
I looked at Brian
you
Robinson. If I was taking
knew,
a running back, I was going to take Brian Robinson, but I just none of them were diving at me. You know, none of these running backs are a lot of them are much of a muchness, and I think a couple of the ones that I think are much of a muchness are going to come back to me, and I'll probably, you know, and so I didn't think that I required one there. I've got two only. I'll get one at the next turn, and
there
then
goes
take
Zach
it from there
Moss.
and see what it's looking like.
So Ben's got the number one running back, well, at the moment for Cincinnati.
And it's and then there goes Njoku. Yeah, White and Zach
That's the
Moss. You know,
buffs.
when you vote. Zach Moss is RB2, you know, when you're getting him in the 7th round again, you know, it's fine. It's not a problem.
God, they're
Tony's
rattling through
went
now.
with Montgomery. So they are filling, you know, going no running backs to begin with, the 0 running back. It's not, you know, you can fill these positions in and think, yeah, that looks fine. There
You
goes
got Lad
Keon
McConkey and
Coleman.
then Keon Coleman.
Oh, Lad went there to Ross. Yeah, I mean, as I say, Lad McConaughey could be absolutely fantastic. He really could. It's just such a muddling receiver room that I'm much more comfortable taking a swing with Parker later on. Yeah, well, it's going to need to wait, I'm afraid. Tajay Spears. Again, you know, that's Graham's got
We've got
Pollard
both
in
of them.
there, he's got Barkley in there, and now he's got Tajay Spears. And we're just about to get to the very interesting round for Halday, and let's see what he can do with this eighth round, where he's got all the picks in the world. Alan takes Jaden Daniels. Yep, that's. I mean, it could be a cheat code.
So Graham's taken both the Tennessee running backs. So
hey, evening, Everett. How are you, sir?
Well, this is to show me the keeper live draft. I thought we'd do it on there so everybody can watch it. So this is year 1, the start of the draft. So Gary's been an auto since the start.
So Sean has got 4 He's got 4 running backs, 2 wide receivers now, and
Are you going to go quarterback or are you going to go tight end?
You know, you've got your onesie positions there, but I think you'll go wide receiver here. I think you'll go wide receiver here, and get 4 and 3 in there. You know, as I say, he's going in that punt your tight end, punt your quarterback. I've got no issue with that. I really don't.
Sean knows what he's doing.
Tight end, especially given the fact that, you know, if you don't get one of those top 5, it's a punt all day long. And the quarterback, they're all kind of much of a muchness now. So it's very much why bother now when you can get, you know, why bother taking Rodgers now when you can get Bo Nix, you know, in 5 rounds' time. You can get Geno Smith in 6 rounds' time. That's how I would be looking at the quarterback room.
Dallas Goddard for there, Sean.
Have one.
And
Dallas Goddard should do very well at tight end. There's no, I mean, it's not like I'm not sure.
That's what I wanted next pick.
Yeah, well, I was wanting Ford to come all the way back to me, so you can imagine.
He's not coming back. Like,
there's still tight ends there that can score some points, but you know, is Goddard going to be that much better than Schultz, that much better than Komet, that much better than Fryermuth, Musgrave, Conklin?
No, Schultz would be better than Goddard.
They're all going to go much later, you know, so it's because everyone's got tight ends now, and how many's going to go a second? Some will, obviously, but Chase Brown, yep, that's I'm going for the title pick, that one, you know. It's obviously going to be Zach Moss to begin with, but every chance by the time playoffs come around, Chase Brown will be the number 1 in Cincinnati and getting a lot of touches. So very good pick up there. And it's an RB2 as well. I've got, you know, that's it's RB2's go, you know, 7th round of a 16-team league. And then there goes Romeo. There goes Romeo. Where for that?
Where for that Romeo? Better be.
Hollywood Brown follows him off the board. Yeah, I would have taken Romeo over. I came back round. In fact, I think I took Romeo over Cortland Sutton, the other one.
Yeah. There you go. That answers it there. But yeah, there's a lot of running backs. It's just one quarterback league, though. Yeah, but there was a bit of a run of tight quarterbacks.
Yeah, what 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and it's
a keeper league,
so we can keep 2.
I do love Reed better, but I do love a bit of Dubes.
Yeah, I mean, Dubes will, again, they'll do just fine. I just worry that all the mouths are going to get fed in Green Bay, which is not conductive for fantasy football purposes, you know. And I think they'll all be fed at some point or another. You're going to get some very good games out of them. You're going to get some very average games out of them because someone else is going to step up, you know. Dontavian Wicks is the 4th one that I think is, you know, but it could be any 4 of them could be the number 1 receiver in Green Bay come the end of the season.
Definitely.
And I think they'll all be fed, you know, they'll all get something. So Graham, we're just Graham to round out the first half of the draft. We will be halfway done.
Before we get to the Haldean round.
As soon as Graham comes on and picks his 7-16, you got to think he's looking running back here. You know, it's with the build, the way the build is happening. So we got Chubb. Do you go Chubb and hope for back end of the season? There's Eckler there, Elliott's still there. There you go. It is Trey Benson. Yeah, Graham's getting sneaky big on Trey Benson. I've seen him taking him a couple of times now. It's yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of Trey Benson. I've got to say, it's.
Who scored a touch?
I usually really like what Graham does in the drafts, but I'm very cold on this one. For this one, what to say. Right, I'm on the clock on the other one, so I'll go and pick now and let Aaron get on with it. Oh no, it's going the other way. It'll be on Roddy.
Oldman's gone Jameson Williams, which could be great.
Yeah, I get that. I like Jameson Williams this year as well. I think I did have him in one of my mocks. I do really like him this year too.
First one of Martin's 4 picks in this round. He's gone Zeke. I did want to go for it, but he's a Dallas player and he is fucking old and fucking fat and slow. And if he jumps in he's going to get touches, but
he's going to get all. He's going to get all the goal line work. He's going to get all the goal line work, and you know, I think it's Dowdle between the 20s and Zeke thereafter. That I think is how they'll go. I was discussing it. We were discussing it with Graham on the golf course the other day. He's kind of that way is inclined as well to be thinking. It's so. I mean, you're very touchdown dependent. I think taking him.
Yes, but when he does get a touchdown, it's usually a big one.
It's so you get loads of points that 1 week. Because I think between the 20s, Dowdle will be getting the ball. As you say, he's getting older now as Zeke. So,
yeah.
But I mean, going this late, how can you not in a high octane offense like the Dallas Cowboys offense? How can you not take Zeke this late if you need a running back? You know, it's a no brainer, really.
Was that you took on taking
there goes Shakir, there goes Hopkins,
and Tyler Lockett for Mark's other
Hopkins this year. And then there goes Tyler Lockett for Haldane in the second of his 4 picks this round.
The Haldane round.
We're on to Sean now. He's still got to get a quarterback, 4 running backs, only 2 wide receivers.
There's still plenty of quarterbacks to choose from. It's just whether anybody starts taking a second one before he can. But like I've still got one position to take before I get to my benches.
The thing about it is, right, well, here's the thing. If everyone takes 2 quarterbacks, that's 32 quarterbacks. There's 32 in the league, right? Spoiler alert, I'm not taking a second quarterback. So there's going to be at least, unless someone takes 3 quarterbacks when you've only got 5 bench spots, there's going to be at least one starting quarterback in agency.
Well, you never know. Like say Gary is on auto, he might end up with 3. Arthur might decide he wants a third one just to piss you off.
There was more than 40 quarterbacks played last year in the NFL, you know.
Yeah, but how many of them were good?
Some will get injured. I get people, but I get picking up to, you know, when you pick up Daniels, you're not sure, you know, someone that you're not sure, you know, CJ Stroud, you maybe want a backup just in case he's not as good as he was last year and there's a bit of regression there, you know, that kind of thing. Then I don't mind getting the second, but you know, if you're picking up Justin Fields, you're auto getting a second, but Justin Fields could be a championship winner at the end of the year, you know.
Oh, definitely.
It could be the week 1 starter, but I believe Wilson done quite well yesterday.
You think Sean's listening, or is he just having a good think who he wants to pick?
I think he'll be having a good, you know, it's, you know, you're at that stage now. We're in the second half of the draft, and this is at the point where you're just looking for players that you want. You're not looking at ADP as much anymore. There's a lot of reaching goes on now, you know. Yes, you'll still use ADP and you'll still look at the players that are up there, but more often you're scanning down them. I get that. I don't get it taking 3 minutes right enough, but I think we should lower it to 2.
Well, in fairness, for the most part,
Well,
most people have been taking it less than a minute. So after the first 2 rounds with Gary taking 5 minutes each time, now Otto. But
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
can.
it's moving along
There you go,
okay now.
Blake Corum.
Blake
Oh,
Corum.
Sean,
Yeah, I
I was
mean,
hoping he was going to get. I was wanting him on my bench. But
all the way back around. Yeah, I thought you would be after him as a handcuff. I used to love handcuffing my running back, but I'm very, very cold on it now, just because it's not really number one, number two anymore. That's just not how it goes now. They all get their touches, and they all get bits and bobs. So I'm not the biggest fan of handcuffing, but that is one that I would handcuff because, if Williams does go down, Corum is straight in there, and it will be Williams as long as he's going well and fit.
and he will go well on that offense. It's just about staying fit. But yeah, Sean, there you go.
There's no reason to think Williams will get injured. They didn't get hurt last year at all, did they?
Well, I think he got injured for he was injured for 2 games, I think, but not a lot. But yeah. In fact, Alan did put it up somewhere. No, I think it was for the last 3 years he's been injured 11 times. 12 times. Taylor 13 games, Williams 12 games, McCaffrey 12 games, all 10 games, Henry 10 games, and Connor 10 games. Obviously, that was after we made the comment about if you can stay fit. Alan's dug up the stats like Stato and come out with it.
So there we go. Taylor 13, Williams 12, McCaffrey 12, Hall 10, Henry 10. Yeah, I mean, that's a surprise on Connor, isn't it? Because everyone thinks Connor gets hurt all the time. The thing is, Connor does get hurt all the time. He just only misses a game or two each time he gets hurt, so it is, whereas other
Whereas
ones would
Taylor missed
be.
nearly the whole season. That's how he had 13 games. He missed like 10 games in the season or something like that. So he did he not get ruled out at the end of the season? That's why he's got so many. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the Tennessee New Orleans Saints game on the iPad. So
What are you? That's,
well, I
I'm just
forgot I was on it to say. Apparently,
expecting
I picked up Spencer Rattler in a draft late on, and apparently he had a good little touchdown throw. So I'm hoping that he takes over for Carr at some point.
Well, I so my big time. I actually traded in a dynasty league. I traded for in the third round. I traded the next year's second round pick for that third round pick because I wanted to pick up Spencer Rattler was still there, and I was picking him up for next year. So it's effectively
Yeah.
I'm getting him as a second round pick next year. So I'm hoping that he is the man who takes over from Carr. I'm not a big Carr fan. I don't think he's that great.
Well,
So I do think they can
I
take
like
that
Derek
from
Carr,
him.
and obviously he got paid, but the fans don't like him. Last year they were
It's,
calling for him to get dropped all the time. You know what I mean? So
he's very boring, It's just it's a boring quarterback. He'll do you okay, and he'll do, he knows how to go up and down the field, but it's boring,
there you go.
Yeah,
So
Gary's taking Jordan Addison. I'm cold on Jordan Addison this year just because the quarterback situation, and I think
and he bit
Jefferson's going to
suspension.
get. I think Jefferson's going to hog the touches, and he's got the suspension.
And when Hawkinson comes back, he'll get the catches. So.
He'll get some too. Yeah, he'll need Fed as well, and I think they'll run the ball a lot just with having Sam Darnold at quarterback. I think it's better for Jones. I'm a little bit hotter on Jones than I was at the kind of when he moved there, but I just can't get away from the old player, new team, and doesn't really work well.
There goes Curtis Samuel, who is
Curtis
Curtis Samuel got the
from Buffalo
turf
this year.
toe.
Get what?
Curtis Samuel's got turf toe. Is it turf toe?
Has he? Has he get tough though? Has he? I mean, he could
That's
be
what I
anything in
heard. Yeah.
Buffalo this year. It
Well,
could
I've
be
got him in the
absolutely
main
anything.
Orkney Bowl, but yeah, I heard some of it. He's got turf toe, so obviously that's there's a touchdown for Tennessee.
And then there's two Dallas players, one after the other. Brandon Cooks, Enrico Dowdle. I was kind of, if Dowdle made it, Dowdle was coming to me. So I've got 4 receivers. So I've got to start thinking about who I'm going to pick now, because here it comes. It's 3 away. I've got my
It
quarterback. I
does
won't be
creep up
having
on you,
another
like.
one.
Yeah.
I really need to pick up a running back here because I do only have 2. And I feel like I need more than 2.
Me too, and they're the same bye week, so I'm just giving up
And
week
they're
6.
So I'm looking at very much looking at running back here, depending on what Tony and Chris do, obviously. But I mean, there are running backs here that I don't hate, I don't mind. That question is, I mean, and here's the thing with what I was saying with the handcuffing here. I quite like Gibson. I've always quite liked Gibson for some reason. I've always, even when he was in Washington, I quite liked him as well, and I picked him up a lot. And I like him, but I've already got Stevenson, and I don't. That's not a handcuff that I want, because I do think that both will be on the field, and I think Gibson will score as many as Stevenson quite a lot of weeks. But there's no way I would ever start the two of them together.
Well, like you say,
Kind of don't
Graham's
want.
got Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears pick after pick, so he's got the Tennessee running back room
Yeah,
covered.
so I mean, again, though, I really do think that they're both going to get their touches. I mean, what one of them are you starting? Are you starting them both? Can you start them both?
No,
You
no, in that
can
African
probably start
offense.
them both, to be fair, but
No,
you would be leaning heavily on Tennessee. But I think both will
Tony
get
Tony
as
Pollard
many
just scored a
touches as each
touchdown
other.
today, so I think Tony Pollard
Pollard,
scored a touchdown. So, but yeah,
Pollard was
he's
an
not.
absolute dud last year on a better offense. That's what I'm going to say.
He certainly was. There we go.
And Spears was very good in that offense last year when he got his chances. I think both will get as many touches. I think it will be a kind of 1A, 1B there until Pollard's drifted out and Spears takes over. If Pollard doesn't do anything, worries me no. Tony on the clock now. He's got his onesies long ago. He's got 3 receivers, 2 running backs. So I mean, the next 3 people that are on the clock, and it's going round the bend. Tony, Chris, and myself. We've all only got 2 running backs here, so I see running backs falling like stars here. I really do.
Yeah, I'm going to get stung, I think.
So I'm looking down. I'm looking
Ross
at the
has got
running backs that
2.
are there.
Gary's got 2.
I mean,
I've got
I still
2.
don't think
Graham's got
Eckler's
2.
finished. I really don't. I think Eckler's still got a little bit of life left in him,
And a point to prove.
and a point to prove. Exactly. Nothing beats a chip on a shoulder in
I'll
this
stop
game.
talking about him.
I mean, see, right, if Mostert and A-Chain stay fit all season, Wright's nothing. He's not going to see the field. But
No,
see if one
but
of them gets hurt, and both have injury history, he could be a monster away down here. He could be an absolute monster. There goes one of my options with Zach Charbonnier, and then there goes
and
another one
Austin
of my
Eckler.
options with Austin Eckler. And that I was leaning to Eckler. Now, I could take Chubba Hubbard here, right? But here's the thing. When Brooks comes back, he's a dead in the water to me. He's fighting for scraps in a really bad offense. So you're doing that for the start of the season. I'm not going to start him before Stevenson or McCaffrey. So that would be a complete wasted pick for me. What I am going to do is I'm going to pick now for the back end of the season and hope that Nick Chubb comes back and is as good as Nick Chubb has been. I still need my cover for the start of the season, just in case something happens to Stevenson, something happens to McCaffrey, or indeed I need to plug into a flex spot. So I'm going to take one who, as much as he is a second, I think he'll get touches and I think he'll do stuff with them. So I'm going to take Algier.
Nice one.
And that's so I've taken my two running backs, one after the other there. One for
There's some
the
more.
second half of the season. Nick Chubb for the second half of the season, and Algier to cover at the beginning. And I know that I'm plugging them into. Well, Algier's went onto the bench. So put him in instead of Chubb, so that's a starter. I've punted tight end, and now we're on to getting bench spots. But I do, because I've got Chubb and Algier there. I feel like I need one more wide receiver that I know is going to see a lot of the field and is going to see a lot of passes. So that's kind of what I need to come back round to me. A wide receiver that I'm comfortable will see a lot of action and can be plugged into the starting lineup
Yeah.
without too much of a worry. There goes
Well,
the
there's the
Muth.
move gone.
The Muth is
Up to
gone.
Tony now.
Couldn't be colder. Couldn't be colder on him this year. I have been so hot on him the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, and he has flattered to deceive every single one of them.
And looking at the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh, it's not going to get any better.
2022, he was tight end 8, and this scoring, he was tight end 8 in 2022, which, yeah, in PPR scoring, which was a really good year. 2021 tight end 13. I went all over him last year. I was Pat Fryer moved up to the neck, and he was tight end 30. So
he's been a bit
me
of a
and Pat have
disappointment.
fallen out. Let's put it that way.
So who's Tony going to go for now then? So he's got Lamb, Diggs, Johnson, Montgomery, Robinson, Charbonnet, McBride, and Allen.
And Lamb. I can't imagine.
I said Lamb to start with. So.
Oh,
You might need
sorry.
another wide receiver just in case Lamb does hold out. I can't imagine. He'll play. I can't imagine him holding out. But
I mean,
I'm
the
not an
fact,
expert.
yes, he will absolutely play, Johnny. I 100% agree. He's absolutely going to play, but he's got no pre-season in him at all. He's got no camp in him at all. So that's what worries me. Jacoby Myers, number 2 in Las Vegas. I mean, he could do absolutely fine there, but I like plugging in another wide receiver there because, that's a player that you can put in your starting lineup. Charbonnet, see if Walker's playing. You're humming and hawing over putting Charbonnet in. Can I play him? Do I play him? Do I not? But
You'll
Myers
get
is
a
one
couple
you
of
can just
carries,
plug
but
in
that's
straight
it.
away and be happy.
Oh, don't know being happy, but you can plug them in.
Yeah, you can plug them in. I mean, you're not, but you can plug them in. There goes Ty Chandler.
Here
He
we
could
go.
have a real big year this year.
Running back run.
You could have
Chandler, McLaughlin.
If Jones isn't very good, Chandler could have a big year.
That's who I was hoping was going to come back. Jaleel McLaughlin. I was hoping he'd come back because I was wanting him.
It's just again, it's such a messy backfield, isn't it? And Williams hasn't exactly locked it down, has he? He's going to need to do very well early this season to stay in there, and if not, McLaughlin's shown he's more than capable. And Estime's sniffing about as well. I don't think he's
but he had a couple of fumbles in this preseason game that he played in, and that's against backups. So obviously it's a bit. Oh, there's a nice catch for A.T. Perry just at the 2-yard line. But...
No, I like him this year. I think he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver there.
He just flattened him there.
And he's going undrafted in a lot of drafts. A.T. Perry, he's going undrafted in a lot.
I know, it was a nice catch. He just got caught. Who threw the ball?
After his 8th round massive run, which he finished out with Cooks. So he went Dobbins, he went Cooks, he went Lockett, and he went Elliott in the 8th round. So all of that trading has got him a run of 8th rounders, which, I mean, Elliott and J.K. Dobbins should see plenty.
So technically, he's got the stack with Prescott, Elliott, and Cooks. And then you've got James Cook, Kamara, Waddle, Rice. He just don't need a tight end, but he's got 3 of his bench sorted already, so he's looking not bad.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. He's got all of those 8th round
Jerry Jeudy,
and that's the thing.
2.
He's getting all of these players right at the time when players are very playable still,
Yeah.
But he's only got 2 more picks left to make, Halday, and he's got his tight end and 1 bench to go, so he's completely punted tight end as well. Don't blame you.
So Ross has gone for Kimani Vidal, and Gary's auto pick Justin Herbert, which is not a bad auto pick, but then he's only going to play week 16. So then you've got Graham.
Haldane's got
14,
1 less pick, yeah. Haldane's got to take 1 from agency because he gave away 2 for 1, so he's got to take 1 from agency. He's only got 1 pick left. He can go to his bed after 10-11.
Maybe that's why I did it. Maybe he's working in the morning. Yeah.
Vidal, I'm not convinced on Vidal this year at all. And maybe in the coming years, but I don't think it's relying on an injury. I mean, if injuries happen to Dobbins and the Gus Bus, then yeah, absolutely. But you need those injuries to happen. Look at how late Justin Herbert's going.
I know. That was an auto. So yeah.
I mean, look at how late he's going. It's like people have forgotten he is a very good quarterback.
Well, there's Alan got the Brooks and Hubbard stack, so one will be playing until the other one's fit, and then they'll take over. Sean's taking my TJ Hawkinson, you bastard, John.
Very smart move. I mean, see, if you take Brooks, you really want to be getting Hubbard. You really do. And yeah, I get that some people are going quite early on Hubbard sometimes, and so he's not kind of falling to where you think you're going to be able to pick him up, and it can be heartbreaking not to get him. But that is an absolute no-brainer pair up.
On the 9-10,
because as soon as when Brooks comes back, you don't even put him in straight away because Hubbard will still be getting a lot of do. But once he breaks himself in and you'll see him starting to take over, and then that's when you can chuck Chubb at agency at that point.
Yeah, get him a couple of weeks playing, and then boom. See ya.
Again, I like that. I like the Hawkinson pickup from Sean. It's like my kind of Chubb pickup, whereby that's a kind of, if I'm in it at the end of the season, he could make a massive difference. It's like a brand new player, heading
Well,
into.
I don't like the pickup because I was hoping there was going to be a couple more picks and come to me because I do like Hawkinson.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Thank you, Sean.
Then the Del Boy takes Greg Dortch. I mean, Zay Jones has got a 5-game ban, so that plays right into Greg Dortch's hands. That moves him up the pecking order massively. So don't hate that. And then the other, it's Doug that's taking the right swing, and I don't blame that either because he's one injury away from being an absolute beast. And the speed that boy's got, I mean, he's up there with Hill, he's up there with A-Chain, he's up there with Mostert, So on to you, Johnny. You've got Shakir and Dubs and Thomas and McLaurin at wide receiver. And you've added Antonio Gibson to your running back room of Williams, Pacheco, and now Gibson.
Well, I need somebody for the week 6, so
nice pickup there. I don't hate that pickup at all. As I say, I like Antonio Gibson. I loved him in Washington, and I think he'll do very well for them. If the only thing that puts me off is the fact that it's such a bad offense,
Well, I'll have to pick somebody because both my running backs are a bye week 6 bye, so it's a bit of a sore one. But
it puts me off Stevenson, and I picked him up in the 4th round, so I can't say anything about that. But yeah, it's just the offense that worries me for them this year. For any New England Patriot that worries me for the offense. I mean, I'm a big one of picking up Polk. I think Polk's going to do okay this year. I think he'll do well. I'm a big one for picking him up late on, but I won't when I've got Stevenson because I'm not taking 2 Patriots.
Yeah, me too. But like you say, you won't take 2 Patriots. But I don't know. We'll see if he's still there later. I might take him. But I've got a couple of nice wide receivers already. So it's Arthur next, and then it'll be Gary. Yeah, 5 to 6 games. We knew he was suspended. I'm not too sure how long, but we did discuss that earlier on, Everett. But yeah, what was it for again? Was that?
That's moved up for Breece Hall. That's what it was. So you get Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Christian Watson, and Hollywood Brown, and wide receiver. I mean, this is scary. That's a scary team.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's hunting about for a wide receiver here that can be plugged in because obviously Hollywood's looking like he's going to miss the start of the season. So I mean, there's wide receivers aplenty still available. I think it's
wide receivers deep, running back not so much. Tight end, maybe.
Leggett could be real good. He could be real good in Carolina. Mike Williams. There's no reason to think he's going to be
if he can stay fit.
Once he comes back, once he's fit, they're saying he's going to be ready for week 1. So he's got a great quarterback thrown to him.
Cole Kmet. So he's got second tight end.
What's Cole Kmet? Yeah. I mean,
both on the same bye week.
Ferguson, but
both bye week 7, so he's done the same as me. So
yeah, but that's in a onesie position for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a onesie position. It's not really because you can plug in your tight end to your flex spots, So as much as it is a onesie position and there's only one tight end starting position, you can play as many as 4 tight ends should you desire.
Yeah, but there is no tight end bonus.
The quarterback in this league is a true onesie position because you can only start one quarterback every single week.
Yep.
So on to Graham now.
He's gone for Mike
Mike
Williams. Maybe
yeah.
he is listening to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, Rashid Shaheed.
Graham's loading up in that wide receiver room. He's loving his Williams.
There's your Polk. So I might do the second running back.
Yeah, I love Polk. As I say, I think Polk's very. I love Polk. I don't love him, but I think he's got potential to be one of the best receivers in New England this year. So I think that's a good pickup when you've got Hollywood Brown there, because you can plug him in until Hollywood's fit. Khalil Herbert, Johnny.
Yeah, I do like Khalil Herbert, so I'll just go for him.
Do you know what?
I'm not over the keen of DeAndre Smith. So.
My problem with Khalil Herbert this year is that I much prefer Rashawn Johnson. 5 games, Everett. 5 games, Jones gets suspended for nothing. But Rashid Rice can play week 1. You tell me how, because I can't work it out. Now we're on to Douglas.
Yeah.
I love what Douglas is doing with this team. I've got to say, I really do like what he's. I'm not a fan of the JSN pick, and I'm not a fan of the DeAndre Hopkins pick, but both could knock it out of the park, And he's putting together a very balanced team here. I've got to say, a very balanced team that could get a lot of touches. And then Ray Davis, the backup for Cook, and as the season goes on, he'll get more and more and more touches as the season goes on, no matter how good Cook's doing. Because see, if Cook's doing really well, and Buffalo are doing really well, then towards the back end of the season, they're going to be wanting to put Cook in a bit of, pack him up in cotton wool for the playoffs. So Ray Davis is going to be coming in and he's going to be getting touches, and if Buffalo are flying, they're already in the playoffs. Davis will get more and more touches as the back end of the season goes on when we are getting to playoff time. So I don't hate that pickup either. He's picked up 2 rookie running backs who can only get more touches as the season goes on. They're not going to get less touches as the season goes on. Let's put it that way. Mattison, have you heard anything about Mattison? I've literally forgotten to say it.
No, I've not heard much about him. But there you go. There, Sean got his first tight end, first quarterback, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. I mean, listen, if Cousins is a fantasy beast, and this is a 6-point thrown touchdown, 6 points for a thrown touchdown for the quarterback. So Kirk Cousins, if he's anything like he was in Minnesota, is a great pickup in the 10th round.
He's only got 2 wide receivers.
We're now on to Allen. Allen's away with my Joshua Palmer that I wanted in about 2 rounds' time, 2 rounds ago. But he's got Chuba and Brooks. I love that. His onesies, Daniels is a great swing. He could be absolutely cheat code in fantasy with his legs. And then he's got Connor and Gibbs in the back room as well, and he's got London and Smith and Joshua Palmer at wide receiver. You got to think he's going wide receiver here. He'll need a 4th wide receiver for sure. I would think that he will be. There you go, Adonai Mitchell, which could be fantastic.
He's good in the red zone in the preseason. He's been pretty good. So I got Graham.
He could be anything as a thing. It's certainly it depends what Richardson's going to be doing, how often he's going to be throwing the ball, and how often he's going to be running with the thing. But
that is the problem.
How often Taylor's going to be getting it. But he's got every chance of being the wide receiver 2 from the get-go. So, in fact, I think he will be the wide receiver 2 from the get-go.
Yeah, well, Josh Downs is injured, so they do seem to like Josh Downs. But... Yeah, I never noticed. Obviously, Graham got the Pittman's Richardson stack as well.
Josh Downs is a Zay Jones. He's a Marvin Jones. He's a journeyman. He's going to go about and he'll do you all right. He's a Jamison Crowder. He'll get you some catches. He'll do you all right. He'll have some games, but
but for
fantasy relevance, Josh Downs is not for me. Alex Pierce is not for me.
Oh God, no.
That is definitely the only other wide receiver I would be interested in Indianapolis. And there, Graham took on Tavian Wicks. If he came back to me, he was mine.
Auto pick.
Was that an auto?
Auto pick because Xavier Leggett for Gary.
Oh, Xavier Leggett. Yeah, that's. I would have had a bit of Leggett if he came back as well. So that's the thing, players are starting to go now, and you're starting, people are starting to reach down and pick up players from way downtown because, they've got the starting team lined up now. So now they're looking for their shots in the dark. They're looking for their dart throws. They're looking for the ones that they think are going to bust through, and that's not necessarily at the top of ADP now. So that the ADP is kind of pointless looking at it now for me. So I'm looking at my team. I've got 4 wide receivers. I've got 4 running backs, but one of them's going straight to IR. So I'll bring another one of them in when I put Chubb to IR. So with 5 slots left, I'm going to need tight end.
We'll go for Tuesday, Martin. It'll be daily waivers until the season starts, and then it'll be the same as the Orkney Bowl. Or maybe the Thursday before. This week it'll be daily waivers starting on Tuesday. Gives everybody a chance to have a look and see who they want to pick up. But I'll set that up now.
There's one chap here that I'm hoping come. Where do you stand in Dotson now, Johnny? In terms of, is he more fantasy relevant? Is he less fantasy relevant when he's moved to Philadelphia?
I think he'll be a good number 3. I do like Dotson, and obviously, it's one injury away from being a number 2 in a good offense.
That's the thing, isn't it? But the thing is, he was already a number 2 in a not
but that was not a good fucking offense. So yeah,
might be better this year though. There's every chance it'll be better this year though. It seems a funny one for me at this stage of the season as well.
It is a bit of a mental. I never saw that one coming, to be honest.
And for me, it makes him a little bit less fantasy relevant at this moment in time. Obviously, that's because Smith and Brown are both fit.
Yeah,
but
that won't always stay like that.
I'm glad I don't have them in any teams, and I have to make that decision. That's for sure. So there goes Ross is taking Matthew Stafford to back up Patrick Mahomes, because you're always going to, because obviously there's going to be games that you're going to play with Matthew Stafford before Patrick Mahomes. I'd love to see that game, but Haldane, you Martin.
Well,
that's totally changed my.
Craig, you might be able to knock on his door because Stafford and Mahomes have got the same bye week. So.
Sorry, dude.
So yeah,
no comment. No comment.
Waiver wires will be 8:00 every morning from Tuesday until next Tuesday. Then they'll open up league wise for from Wednesday onwards.
There goes another boomer bust boy and Gabe Davis to Benji's team. So he's got him. He's got Godwin, Kirk, Samuel, Jefferson.
So he's got the triple stack. He's got Christian Kirk, Lawrence, and Gabe Davis.
So he does. So
if you want the quadruple stack and you want my wee man over there, you've not got much to want actually, to be honest.
He's got a double stack. Tony up now. He's got 1, 2, 3 running backs, 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers, and his onesies sorted out. So I mean, Tony's got a very well spread team here. He can go whatever way he fancies going. It's kind of best player available here. He's got 3 and he's got 4. So I mean, you would running back. Probably get the 4th running back in, but there's absolutely no problem taking a wide receiver here as well. It's the running backs are looking they're getting a lot thinner now.
Oh, hey, I ended up in Khalil Herbert, so yeah, they're getting pretty thin, but they're only going to play one. barring injury, they're only going to play 1 week. So that's the way I see it. And then I could fucking drop them after that. Oh, Martin's got a little comment for you, Craig. Well, you certainly will be, Mark. You've not got a bloody
No.
tight end. You've got no more picks. Craig can still pick one now, and you'd have a tight end.
Oh
You
no,
wouldn't have to worry about it, so.
I'll have my tight end in place, Martin. Don't you worry. I punted tight end long ago when Brock Bowers went by Derek at 5'12". That was me. That's when I punted tight end. I was not taking it before. I was not taking tight end before the 10th round after Bowers went in the 5th. I might take tight end here. Depends what comes along.
Well, you've got Musgraves available. Still a few tight ends that
I'm looking at
DeMarcus Robinson for Tony.
Wide receivers again. Oh, Chris, what are you doing to me, son?
Oh, well, he is a Green Bay fan, so that'll be why.
And it's one of those ones, Johnny. You know, I always like my Green Bay Packer. I always like my Packer and my team. So that's really thrown me. I was really hoping he got along.
You're welcome, Mark. I knew you were wanting him, but yeah.
And he's not. So I'm going to punt tight end again. I'm punting it even further now, and I'm going to take a guy who I think has got so much up. It's untrue this year. I just think it could be fantastic, and it's going to be Jermaine Burton.
Oh, I forgot he was there. Nice pick.
And then I'm now.
Well, there you go. If Chase does hold out and doesn't play, he's going to be the number 2. The way he's been playing in preseason is some cracking catches.
And let's not forget Higgins isn't exactly comfortable with his position at the moment.
No,
and do you know who else I'm going to take here? Someone who I think the Zay Jones suspension helps greatly as well. And I'm just checking to make sure I don't have another Arizona player, and I don't. So I'm going to take the number 2, Michael Wilson, in Arizona, and hope that he gets a little bit of action. Because as I say, I love Kyler Murray this year. I just think Murray's such a good quarterback. He's shown it year after year after year after year. I'm really hating the fact that Doug stacked him with Harrison. It is kind of eating at me as we speak, because I think that's a great stack. I think it's going to do really well. I could not work a way of getting Murray into my team when I was mocking without taking him way earlier than I was prepared to go with a quarterback, you know. So I had resigned myself that I wasn't going to pick him up this league, and I was always aiming for Caleb Williams to pair with. If I got DJ Moore at 216, I was always going to target Williams. But I'm taking Wilson because I want a wee piece of that Arizona offense.
Yeah, that's a
and
nice
then there goes Baker. You couldn't have taken Baker at 10-15, Chris, could you? I mean, seriously.
Well, he knows you're a Packers fan, and he knows you like
a
Packers player. So
Musgrave was definitely coming to me there. He was definitely coming to me there if he obviously made that along, but he didn't.
You could always get as Kraft as your 14-16 just to finish it off.
That's exactly what I'm looking at, Johnny. Thanks for telling everybody. Very kind of you.
Well, there's only 4 watching.
I think there's every chance. There's what?
There's only 4 watching. 3 watching. Somebody's given up. Probably Martin's probably got to bed after all his picks have gone.
He's all his picks have gone. He's I mean, as I say, I think Kraft will have his weeks as well. Musgrave will have his weeks, and Kraft will have his week, and it's why I am kind of cold on both of them. Here we go. We're coming up to that. That's not too bad, actually. We're 2 hours and we've only got 3 rounds to go. So,
3 minutes was a good one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is more than enough, I think. But at this point now, people are searching down the order. I mean, I know that it might not even be my 14th round pick, because I think other people might be thinking the same way. But there's a guy I'm looking at that's down.
But
here go the second quarterbacks. Loving the second quarterback. The more second quarterbacks that go, the more players are left in the pot for me when it comes round. Because as I say, I am not taking one. We'll worry about quarterback in week 7.
Or week 6. Before you get to week 7.
And I'll tell you what, see if I would be sitting 6-0, I wouldn't even bother. I would just play without one and give 7 away.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
Sometimes, like,
sitting 6-0, but
I was almost tempted to do that with my running back, so I thought I better pick up something because obviously one of them might get injured. But yeah,
Eric looking for his. He's got both Haldanes next to, so he's going to start filling up his team now.
Yeah.
You've
So who's
got
he got?
the 11-6 and 11-12, and the 12-5 and the 12-11.
He's got Love, A-Chain, Henry, Metcalf, Cooper, Brock Bowers, Jerome Ford, Greg Dortz, Alexander Mattison. He's just filling up his bench now anyway, so unless he's...
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the starting team's
Yeah.
done now. It's bench time, so it's... but I mean, you've got Greg Dortz plugged in there as one. You've got Alexander Mattison plugged in there as a starting lineup. So, you're kind of looking at those two and thinking, I might need a replacement. Someone's going to need to play in front of them from time to time.
Oh,
Then you've got
that's
Jerome.
actually not a bad one. Bo Mix.
Yeah, I love the Bo Mix pick. Do you know what? See if Bo Mix was sitting there in the 16th and the 14th round. That's the only way I would have taken a second quarterback, is if Bo Mix was there in the Mr. Irrelevant. Literally, it would
Well,
be Mr. Irrelevant, because I've got that pick this week.
well, in fairness,
But,
Bo Nix was out. Bo Nix was either going to go 11, 14 or 12, 03 if he got
there
that
you go
far.
then.
But because I think he will be starting soon enough, if not starting right away, and he is looking good.
Yeah, I think he's looking pretty. He is starting. It's already been named. Peyton named him starter. 100%.
What, the day?
No.
Oh, cool.
Last week.
Was it last week?
Thursday or Friday or something like that.
I've been working a fucking week, so we're back up to 6 people. They're all waiting for you to get your Mr. Relevant. So Ross, if you're still there, so
yeah, Bo Nix has been named the starter for Denver. So yeah, he was definitely on my Mr. Irrelevant. The list of players that I'm happy to have at Mr. Irrelevant. He's gone way too early for me. Don't hate the pick.
Ross.
It's Ross now. He's got 2 quarterbacks, so surely to goodness he's not going another one. He's got that Kelsey Mahomes stack, which I really do like.
There you go. Martin's got a question for you.
I've taken Daniels at quarterback over Dak. In all honesty, no, not this season. And the reason I'm saying I like Daniels, I like the thought of Daniels, but I don't think the offense is very good. I don't know that I don't think the offense is that great at the moment. The line might not be that great. And Dak is Dak. Dak's a points machine. It's a 6 point. Remember, it's 6 points for a thrown touchdown, not just 4. So Dak throws a lot of touchdowns. He throws for a lot of points. He done me. I actually traded a 3rd round pick for him, or a 5th round pick for him last year, and show me the money in our home league, and he done me proud. He won me games. Be happy with Dak, Martin. Be happy with Dak.
There you go. So Ross went for fuck's sake, there's a lot of buggered me. Noah Fant for Seattle for Ross, and Ben Sinnott for Groovy.
I mean,
I was hoping Ben Sinnott might last, but
I looked at Sinnott and I thought about him at the turn there, but it's just too much of a risk for me. And we all know that rookie tight ends don't tend to do very well. And I know that that's been changed. I know Laporta's done it and blah, blah. But rookie tight ends don't tend to do very well. It's just the way it is, So as much as I'm big on Brock Bowers, I think they're going to get him the ball a lot. And I think he is a kind of Sam Laporta type. Ben Sinnott, I'm just not convinced on. But I was looking at him because he's going to be the number 1 tight end there as soon as Zach Ertz finally retires.
I know.
Now, we're on Allen here. He's what's he got? He's got 4 receivers, 4 backs, but you can really count that as 3 backs because one of them, the 2 of them are 1 really. And he's got his onesies, so that's good. And he's
cheat code.
That, yeah, well, I mean, you need to pick the right weeks to play him. You're not going to play him every week. You need to pick
That's
the
the
right weeks
problem.
to play him. That's my problem with Taysom Hill. He will get Alan big weeks, if he plays him in the right weeks. But he might also, there's also a big possibility that makes him look silly. When Alan leaves him on the bench for his 32-point week and then plays him next week when he gets 0. And that is a possibility. He gets minus 0.2 because he get tackled for a 2-yard loss. Big possibility. There's Adam Thielen, the granddad Thielen, still going, still getting picked up in drafts. That's a throwaway one for me in the sense that I'm so far out it's untrue. Then Isaiah Likely, a lot of people are liking Likely this year. I'm not sure I'm on board. I think it needs a Mark Andrews injury for him to be relevant. But a lot of people think he might be relevant even alongside him.
Yeah. The thing is that Andrews has been injured the last 2 years, maybe. So he does become, like I say, he does become relevant then. But until then, yeah, I'm not overly sure.
Yeah, he becomes very relevant if Andrews gets hurt. As I say, Andrews is due an injury-free season, I would say. I love Pop Douglas, I love Pop Douglas. I don't know how relevant he's going to be this year in terms of it being New England, but I think he'll get a lot of the ball. So, in the 11th round for your bench, I think that's a great pickup. Troy Franklin too. I mean, that Denver wide receiver room, Sutton's the number one, obviously, but then it could be any of them,
And
I'm
if
like,
Nix
Tim
does play,
Patrick's looking quite good this year again.
yeah, but
I
if
know he's missed
Nix
2
does
years.
play, Franklin did play with Nix in college, so they might click.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
that's
hoping
a big
anyway.
thing,
So.
actually. I didn't know that, Johnny. I didn't know that. That is a big thing, that.
Because when I did the highlights for the Pork and Pez, it was always next to Franklin for both of them. So it's just like, yep, there you go. So I thought,
No, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's.
I was hoping to get both of them, but I'll just take one of them.
Oh, you want Demario Douglas as well, were you?
No, I wanted Bo next, and I wanted the Franklin.
Oh, so of course, right. You wanted the stack. Sorry, yeah.
But I'll take one of them because I couldn't get Sutton. Because did you take him? Somebody took him. No, Ross took him. So, that was
No, I
Buffalo.
took Sutton.
You took Sutton.
I took Sutton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I went off kilter from my
Your
mocks. Was when I took Sutton. That's when I went off kilter, and then Williams I took earlier than my mocks because so many quarterbacks were going. And then it's not been the same since, Although Algier, I think, was there, and Butner was always getting in.
Well, I do
And there
like
goes Ricky
Algier.
Pearsall. I mean, he's hurt at the moment, isn't he? His shoulder injury again. It's yeah, they don't seem to be great at picking those first round picks in San Francisco, are they? I'm not convinced. I mean, he might be fine, but he's certainly hurt.
Yeah. Well, I
On
saw a
him there.
video
Now
about
you've
that.
got
It
to
said
imagine.
the Washington haven't done very well in the first round picks either.
No, they haven't. You've got to think Graham's going running back here. You've got to think this is running back.
You thought so. Because obviously Trey Benson won't be starting. Well, you would have thought. You might get some touches, but he's no starting. Who's available?
He's going to be taking the swings. I mean, Lloyd's still there. He could be very relevant back end of the season. Tracy's still there. Could be very relevant back end of the season. Mitchell's a CMC injury away from being very relevant. Estimate could be relevant as the season goes on. I love Rashawn Johnson. I think he's going to be the number one in Chicago. Injuries or not, come the end of the season, because I'm not a fan of Swift at all. And nor am I a fan of Herbert at all. So I think Rashawn Johnson, if he's any decent whatsoever, Dylan's going to get his picks as it goes. Estimate I think it's a good pickup because he's just such a messy backfield there. Williams has never shown it as being brilliant.
Jordan Mason.
I'm not sure Mason. I'm not sure about Mason. I think Mason's name seems to come up every year at this stage of the season. This stage of drafting, everyone's saying, "Oh, Mason."
I don't know. I'm half tempted to take. Oh.
Not in, but the last 2 years, his rookie season was 2022, obviously, but he was starting to get mentioned towards the back end of the draft season then, and last season as well, and I still think Mitchell's the number 2 there, the nailed on number 2 there, I've got to say. But Mason will get touches. If CMC goes down, he'll get enough touches, you know. Quentin Johnson, I guess someone's got to take him, don't they? And Jatavian Sanders, number 1 tight end. So good pick, Johnny. Yeah, you happy with that one? I bet you.
Yeah, well, he only played like one. He had one catch yesterday. He got 13 yards. I think he only got thrown once. So there you
It's
go.
the guy I was hoping to.
Doug,
I had my. Yeah, so Doug, I'm not being funny, but I heard that last year. I heard it the year before.
Yeah.
And
that other one's like Guerrero. He looked actually not bad yesterday. Was it yesterday? In the preseason.
I mean, don't get me. It'll be Mason or it'll be Mitchell. I mean, Mason will get his touches, but as long as CMC's is fat, I don't think he's. I don't think he'll be getting much. I get that Graham's going for he's throwing the darts for the injuries now, absolutely. And if CMC goes down, Mason's very relevant.
Definitely.
I mean, if Mitchell's there, 14, 16, I will take Mitchell as Mr. Irrelevant because I still think Mitchell is the number 2, and I think Mitchell is the one who will be Mitchell will be the guy who comes in to give CMC a rest. I don't think it'll be Mason.
So do you think Graham's watching the preseason because Estime's just scored a touchdown?
No, he likes Estime. He's picked him up in a few.
I was joking.
I don't think it's on. It's not on. It's not on Sky.
No, it's on Game Pass. Denver's 7-0 up against Arizona.
Watching it, then he watches Sky. He watched it on Sky. I think there is. Is there one on later on? No, I think they're through the night ones on Sky.
Is it? Probably. What game is it tonight?
No, it's not. It was. There was a couple on yesterday. The Pittsburgh game was on yesterday. Pittsburgh.
In fairness, it's New England Patriots against Washington Commanders. That's not really going to be a good game to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning and watch.
No, I'm not sitting up to watch preseason anyone to 1 o'clock in the morning. Not a chance in the hell.
I just watch the highlights in the morning.
I've watched a bit, bits and bobs.
So Doug went for Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, there goes Dotson. Doug's taking the swing on him. As I say, I don't hate it in the sense that he's an injury away from being a number 2 in a high-powered offense, like you say. But it's also, I mean, as number 3, he'll get touches. It's you would think.
Yeah.
Rashawn Johnson's gone. Thanks, Derek. You stole my thunder there. I was so hoping he came back along. Sean up now with 5 running backs, 1, 2, and only 3 wide receivers, a couple of tight ends. You got to think he's going wide receiver here.
Oh man, look at that.
Ikanakur's brother stepped out of bounds 3 yards away from a 105-yard return after a failed field goal attempt. He's braver.
Oh, there's Wanda Robinson's gone.
Yeah. Sean was. I felt confident Sean would have been going wide receiver there. Allen, I'm not so sure what Allen's going to do here because he is very evenly spread. So he's got 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, but 2 of those running backs effectively won. So he might want more cover at running back here, It's certainly on
Allen go for. What game was that, an Allen? I never saw it. I've only started watching now though, but
sorry, Johnny, just a second. I'm going to let the dog out.
No worries.
Come on, guys.
Who's Allen? What's Allen got? 2, 4, 4, right.
We're nearly there now. What we at? Round.
There you go. Oh, there's Taylor McMillan. That's actually not a bad one too. The Godwin slows down a bit. He's looking not too bad.
He could be that sneaky one. He could be a right sneaky one this year, couldn't he? Again, it's a mouse to feed thing. My problem with him, I think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are the absolute clear 1 and 2, and that they do have the likes of Trey Palmer there as well, who looked okay at times last year, in his rookie year.
But only
yeah,
when he puts a tweet.
McMillan's
He only
a
does
lot
well
of
when he puts a tweet out. He's in a bad mood. That's when he plays well. So Gary Farker's got Hunter Henry, then Gary's
yeah, I don't
won't
need to
pick Cade
see all
Otton.
these. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm saying I don't want to see all these tight ends going. There's no way I was taking Hunter Henry, and there's no way I was taking Cade Otton. So I'm quite happy they're gone. But and that's not to say that both won't do okay. They'll both have good weeks, but they have both proved year after year after year that they have a lot of bad weeks, and I don't see how that changes this year.
No. And so Roth again, is he going to come on and take his pick before 2 minutes and 50 seconds?
So where are we at with Ross? He's got 4 wide receivers. He's only got 3 running backs. So you got to think he's going running back here. He's got 2
I
tight
wonder if it's
ends,
working. But
and he's got 2 quarterbacks. So you got to think he's going running back here.
yeah. Well, as Warren's injured, don't know who's going to start. Don't know when he'll be back.
I've heard them saying Warren's going to be back for week 1. Whether that's right or not, I'm not sure. But I've definitely heard someone saying Warren's going to be back for week 1.
Cool.
But yeah, he definitely needs a running back to play if Warren isn't, because he's only got Vidal, and you can't be starting Vidal week 1. That would be there you go, Tyrone Tracy. Don't hate it. Absolutely don't hate it.
That is really freaky because I nearly took him in your draft.
Yeah, there goes another one of the tight ends I had my eye on.
Yeah. He's my Orkney Bowl tight end.
How many tight ends do you need there, Derek? Then there goes the Sean Bateman again, one that I've been big on often, and he's let me down often, so I couldn't be colder now. Someone's got to take Kendry Miller, don't they? Then there goes Will Levis as a backup quarterback to Josh Allen for Tony.
Well, they only play him 1 week, so it's not really too bad. Who am I going to pick? Holy fuck, these running backs are shit.
Let's see if Chris can snipe me here. Right, what tight ends am I happy with taking at this point? There are a few. And wide receivers, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Running backs, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of them isn't fit. So I'm thinking I need to take at least one running back round this turn. And do you know what? I'm going to get my taste of Green Bay. You know, I've always got to have a Packer player on my team, Johnny, don't you? And my Packer player
for Lloyd or Dylan?
You think I'm going to take Lloyd, don't you? Everyone thinks I'm going to take Lloyd,
Dylan.
but do you know what? I don't think
You're
Dylan's
going to
dead
AJ
yet.
Dylan.
I don't think Dylan's dead by any manner of means. I think he's going to be the number 2 to begin with, because Lloyd's not fit, and even if he is fit, he's missed a lot of pre-season, so he ain't coming in straight away. And Dylan will do just fine. And then here now, I guess I'm going to need to take a tight end. It's much of a muchness now, isn't it? Is Johnson the number 1 tight end? Is that definite now, Johnny? I like Bellinger.
You thought so, but well, I like Bellinger. So
You've got John O. Smith in Miami, but Miami don't like throwing to the tight end. Even Gesicki wasn't great there, but Gesicki in Cincinnati, now that's a better place for a tight end to be, I would say. So I'm going to go with Mike Gesicki. What the hell? And see what he can do. It's in Cincinnati, he was wasted at the Patriots, that was a pointless place for him to be. In Miami beforehand, he was sneaky decent, given the fact that they don't overly throw tight ends.
Well, he was sneaky decent, and they started using him more for blocking and catching. But before that, he was a good end zone threat. There goes Jalen Tolbert.
Let's see if Mitchell can get back to me as Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, this is the proper dart throws now, but you got to remember the bench is only 5-player deep. So these guys, a lot of players get injured in fantasy football. These guys are going to be, you got to be prepared to punch these guys in to your team any given time. So Roman Wilson, Kenny Gainwell, that's backup. That's Graham picking up backup for Barkley in case Barkley goes down with Kenny Gainwell there, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Ross, I would say, is going to pick up another running back. Lloyd's still there, back end of the season. Tank Bigsby's an injury away from being a number one. I love me a bit of
Yeah,
Tank.
but he
I'm not giving him up on him in the
was,
dynasties I've got him in. I've still got him. I'm holding on for dear life. Trey
oh, Craig,
Sermon's
you have
still
to
meant to
see
be the
that.
number.
You have to see that kick return in the WhatsApp chat. Holy fuck, what an idiot. It was a
Yeah.
great run until he
Oh, is
stepped out
that
in the 3-yard line. The Puka's brother. I don't think
who's
he
it
needed to
for, though?
step out. He could have dived the Saints against Arizona. I think they
I
probably
didn't
scored a
even know
touchdown
Puka
after that,
Nakur's
but
bro-
this is,
I didn't even know Puka
I didn't know he
Nakur's
had a
brother
brother in
was
the
in the
game
league.
either, but yeah. Oh, Alan, or Statman number 2, obviously does.
So we're just
Yeah, I
waiting
just
on
watched the
Roscoe
video.
picking. He's 13-7. Is he going to go Lloyd?
Getting
Is he
there.
going to go Hill? Is he going to go Bigsby? Does he think Shipley will get in before Gainwell? Obviously, the Eagle fan in Graham is thinking that Gainwell's going to be ahead of Shipley. So
I do
do
like
you take a
Shipley,
swing
but
with
he's an Eagles for.
do you take a
Is
swing
he
with
good?
Mitchell in the hope that Henry goes down just as he's coming
Or does
back?
he go? Or do you just pick CH? People still seem
It's
to
a
pick
hard
him.
bat. That's a dirty pick, that one, isn't it?
Well, it is a dart throw, but yeah,
Like
we
I
never
mean,
know.
don't get me
Hang on,
wrong. If Pacheco was to get injured, but he's been there so long and he's just done nothing really for them. They seem to be hanging on to him, though. They must be hanging on to him for a reason.
Well, they got a 1-year contract, or they did do his 5th year thing, but they gave him a 1-year contract or something like that. So
Chinggis
he's
the
got a bit of a
bogeyman. There was
bust.
someone else. I meant to pick someone up and I forgot. And I was going to take Mitchell as my. I'm not taking Mitchell anymore if this guy comes round. But I need to go searching for him. You mentioned him earlier, which I wasn't happy about.
Oh yeah, I can't believe it is.
Where are you?
Well, I think
Where
Ross
are
is going to auto
you?
pick, so I'll get to you in a second, Gary. Graham, sorry. Gary's going to auto pick too.
Bloody hell.
So he's got Luke McCaffrey as an auto, or auto pick, then Tim Patrick. Oh,
I
so we've
like the
got Luke
Tim Patrick
McCaffrey,
pick, I'll probably say.
Marston
I
Lloyd
like the
got
Tim
picked on
Patrick
his
pick.
auto pick. Tim Patrick.
There you go. I've got the
Well, we
guy
were
that
just
I'm
talking
going to
about him.
take. I've got the guy that I'm going to take if he gets to me into my queue. And if it doesn't get to me, then I will literally show you my queue on the screen so you can see who it was going to be. He's not going to go. There's no way he's going to go. Yeah, I like the Tim Patrick pick. I've got to say, Justice Hill could do. Yeah, I don't hate the Justice Hill pick at all, but I think it is very reliant on Henry getting hurt because even if they're throwing the ball, they're not. Hill isn't going to be the receiver of it. I don't think. There's Sean picking up his customary second quarterback with Sam Darnold. Who's that leaving for me? Fields at the back end, May, Young, Wilson or Fields, whatever one. Derek Carr's still there, Jones is still there, Minshew's still there. Yeah, I'm going with one. Plenty there. Oh, Derek, don't let your green light go off when you're on the clock. Get that green light back on. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on then.
Well, you've only got 2 more picks, Derek. There he
Here
is.
we've got a wee
Oh,
guess
that's
for
a
the
good
rest
one.
of it. Tyler Boyd's a
Hey!
nice pick-up. I like the Tyler Boyd pick-up. There you go. Dougie's taking the tank. Dougie's taking the tank off. Taking the swing with the tank. So where are you going now, Johnny? You've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a quarterback. Very, very evenly spread, Johnny. So you're kind of open to go anywhere here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am tempted to go Johnson, but it's a Giants. Have I got a Giants yet?
No, I don't think you have.
No, it's not like me.
But you are very evenly spread, so you can go whatever position you so desire. Will you be taking a backup quarterback?
I might take him with my last pick.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not interested in it at all. I don't think there's any need whatsoever. I don't mind a couple of tight ends because obviously you can play 2 tight ends if they're both on fire, to the point where I might have to take a tight end at 14, 16 because I've only got Mike Zicky and he's useless. You might have a week or two.
I've got my. There you go. I'll go for Johnson.
Theo Johnson. Yeah, I don't, as I say, I don't hate giving yourself the tight end options because they can plug in.
God, I've got 2 rookie tight ends. One of them might be good, the other one might not, but they're going to be in the bench to start with anyway. So
Here we go. We're heading into the last round. Just as soon as Batch and Graham get theirs done, Graham's on, Batch isn't.
Arthur's got 3 picks left because he's got one in the 14-11.
So he does. So he does. I mean, if you want to jump off, guys, set your queue, but please go onto auto if you're jumping off. Don't make us wait the 3 minutes. Please jump onto auto.
I think
3 minutes times 12 is.
Arthur might be working. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
there
no,
you go.
there we go. He's picked Millie Corley.
I
Graham's
nearly went for
on.
Malachi Corley. So
I don't need this. I don't need the 14th round to be 36 minutes. So let's. If you're going away, stick it on auto.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. We've actually got 7 people watching at the moment, Craig. That's not bad. Considering we've been in for
If I
2.5
don't clap
hours.
him, Martin, he'll start yapping. You see, so I need to clap him, otherwise he'll start yapping, and we don't need that in the background.
Yeah, that's
I
a
love
good
the
pick.
Tracy Evan pick-up.
I like this one for the last pick because I nearly took him, but I went for Theo Johnson instead. So who have we got properly?
Bronco is, he'll have his weeks as well. Obviously he'll have some crappy weeks, but he'll have some big weeks as well. He'll have some good weeks. And Martin's got 2 left to pick. So, no, sorry, Batch, he's got 2 left to pick. So, where's he sitting at? He's got a couple of quarterbacks. He's got a couple of tight ends. I see, yeah. So, he won't be going there. I think he's running back. He's not got many running backs, has he?
But he's got 2 picks. So where is he?
Let me go out and see.
He's got Hall, Etienne. He's got 2 running
Oh,
backs.
that's right. He's got Hall from along there. Yeah, he's got Hall. That was the one that you can't see. But that's all he's got.
Yeah.
He's literally only got 2 running backs. So you would think this is going to be 2 running backs for Batch the last 2.
Well, he's got a lot of ones to go through, I suppose. But so I've got to think one of these 2. But who's got the better week 9 matchup? Plus a piss.
I mean, this it has to go running back here, Arthur. There's no ifs, no buts, no maybes. This has to be running back, and the 14-11 has to be a running back. He was wanting Allen to come back as a handcuff for Hall. That would have been perfect for him, really.
Yeah,
And
that's
Tank
true.
Bigsby as a handcuff for Etienne, so he's probably, in fact, I can see him being on the back foot here thinking, bugger, that was the two that I was after.
I know.
And that wouldn't have been daft, to only have the two running backs, but to plug in both their handcuffs.
Well, one thing he shouldn't be
That would
picking,
make sense.
he shouldn't be picking a quarterback because he's got two. Well, who knows? It is
Come
Arthur.
on, Arthur, pick your second to last pick, for goodness sake. You ain't getting 3 minutes in your next pick. If you go on auto here, you're staying on auto. This wee laddie here needs a walk. Right, so this is going to auto. Johnny, you got yours ready?
Yeah, like I say, I'm stuck between Drake May or Bryce Young.
So you're going quarterback. You're going to take a quarterback cover. Oh, look, there goes my Mr. Irrelevant. That wasn't going to take anyway. Literally, my guy's in my queue.
Oh, what the hell? That just changed to Justin Fields. He must have picked right on the. That was weird. Because he went Justin Fields.
Certainly puts Mitchell back.
See?
In the pot. He must have picked right on, but he's went auto as well, so who knows?
I think if you leave the board and
Johnny,
comes back on again. Yeah. Oh, Derek Carr's still there too. He's got week 9.
Derek Carr's still there. Listen, your man's still there.
Carolina.
Show a bit of faith.
Yeah. No, I've already got my customary giant.
Show a bit of faith in your team.
I'll go Young.
Can't even pick your own quarterback in the 14th round. That's scary, Johnny.
I've got my tight end. That's enough.
I
picked him in the other league and got fucking slagged.
Let's see if Doug's going to bottle it and pick up a second quarterback, or if he's going to stick to one. Could easily see him.
I'm guessing Doug maybe wanted Fields. That's why he's asking how it changed to Fields. I'm guessing he picked the same time as the auto went on.
It must have been.
It's overridden the autumn.
It literally must have been picked right on the last second.
Like a lag or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Doug probably was waiting on Fields too. Wah, wah, wah.
I'm sure. Well, that's him got 3 quarterbacks as well. So,
incidentally, my guy's still there.
There you go. A.T. Perry.
Yeah, A.T. Perry isn't my guy. My guy's still there. The guy that I'm going to pick up is still there, and he's going to make it to me now. I'm pretty confident he's going to make it to me now. Oh, come on, Sean. Don't be making me wait 3 minutes, man. Graham's offline and no on auto. Ross is off and no on auto. Arthur's off and not on auto. Johnny, we're forcing these through. I'm not sitting about waiting half an hour to finish this draft.
Sean's back on.
There's Sean's on. Everybody else is kind of on.
Sean might still wait another 1 minute 50 seconds just to pick because you want to take Doug for a walk.
Well, it's don't know what to say.
Perry's not a bad one, to be honest.
No, I love A.T. Perry, and this I've got him in I've got him in quite a few dynasties, and I'm quietly hopeful that he's going to have a decent season for me. I'm everything cross type thing, Stuck in traffic, frantically scanning for good options. Listen, Derek, I have been there. Been there.
DJ Chark for Sean.
Mr. Baxter knows that pain very well also.
Yes.
I don't hate DJ Chark either. Again, see with that wide receiver room, any of them could do anything. And at least with DJ Chark, you've got a guy who's given confidence, has produced before. Yeah, bloody right, Martin. You better believe it. Get this going, man.
Oh no, it's been not too bad a draft. So.
No, it's been fine. It's been fine. What with just over 2.5 hours, which is fine. It's just these last rounds when they drag out because no one, people have switched off, and it's like, oh, come on. Especially when your last pick.
I did nearly take Greg Dulcich before I took Theo Johnson, but then I already had Troy Franklin 2 rounds before, so I thought I can't have too many Denver players.
No, you can't do that. But at the same time, I don't hate the Greg Dulcich
I think that's
pick
a
either.
nice
I
one,
think
Greg Dulcich, actually.
he could do okay. He could do fine. And I mean, Allen's well served at tight ends. Obviously Taysom Hill you can plug in at any time, and Evan Ingram should, no reason why he won't have as big a year as he did last year. And I think he was the wide receiver. He was a wide receiver. He was a tight end, like 2 or 3 or something last year. Tight end 2 last year, Johnny, in PPR. Tight end 2.5 PPR.
Yeah, he did at the
And
end. He had a good.
in 2022, he was a tight end 5 in PPR. So, the last 2 seasons, he's been a top 5 tight end. So, you're getting a lot of value with Evans where he's going. He was a tight end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was tight end 7 in our draft.
Well, I just got a
Should
message
have
of
been tight
Arthur.
end 6.
Arthur
7,
replied.
8, sorry, tight end 8.
Arthur replied, "Locked that up. Locked, cocked." Well, you never know, Arthur. You might get him in 4 picks time the one you meant to get. So I can't say who it is in case somebody takes him, but he wasn't wanting Justin Fields.
It wasn't. So what happened?
He cocked it up. I don't know what he
He
did, but he
cocked
cocked it up. So, well, let's hope you get your boy in 3 or
Yeah,
4 picks time.
I mean, Ingram, there Martin's commenting on Ingram as well. I mean, tight end 2 last year, tight end 5 the year before, and you're getting him tight end 8 in this draft, and nothing's changed for him. Nothing has changed. Brian Thomas has been added. That's all that's changed in his offense, really. He's still got Trevor Lawrence thrown to him. He's still got Kirk out wide. He's still got Etienne in the backfield. So why would it not be as productive as he was?
Well, looks like Graham's going to auto pick his last pick. I did tag him, but
yeah.
But then you're going to get an auto for Groovy. Ross, or maybe message Ross and say you're on the clock on WhatsApp. You might pick.
Yeah, good. I mean, if you're going to auto it, that's fine, auto it, but go on and put yourself on auto. Go click the Q button, and there's a wee button there that says auto pick, and if you click that over to the right, then you auto pick. At the start, not make everyone wait 3 minutes. Moan over. All that for.
Isaac
It done it
Guerrero.
again. It went as Elijah Mitchell and then switched to Guerrero.
No,
Oh
it
no,
didn't.
Gary went Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right,
So
Gary
Gary
autoed
got an
Mitchell.
auto.
That's what happened there. Right, that's his green light's no on again. Neither's Benji's without it being on auto. Come on,
Well, I'm
gents. Don't
chatting
make
to
me
him,
wait.
so
3, 6, 9. I mean, potentially 12 minutes. I just sit and waiting with the green buttons at the moment.
I've just WhatsApp Ross. Arthur's about because he's messaging me, so he'd be gutted. He actually wanted Mitchell.
Mitchell. Oh, he wanted Mitchell.
Yeah. But by that time, it was too late to change it. So
He can trade him with Gary.
Yeah, I'm sure Gary will take him for anybody. But then here's a.
I mean, the thing is, Justin Fields could be, if he gets in, he's got the legs as well. He was terrible for Chicago, but he was very good for fantasy. He had some big fantasy weeks.
Yeah.
So if he ends up the quarterback in Pittsburgh, I think he's a big pick as well, to the point where he was someone that I was looking at for Mr. Irrelevant as well. If I was going to take a second quarterback, it would be someone like that, someone with potential upside back end of the season. My guy's still there, and he's not going to be taken.
Yeah, he's just logging in back in now. So
I don't hate Baker. I don't hate the Baker pick either. I think that's again, those rookies in New England, you just don't know. But any one of them could come good.
There you go, Zach Ertz. So
It's there to
that's a
Kilmarnock.
strong one,
That's not
Derek.
even a nice road. That's not even a good road. That so yeah, I can imagine you're stuck. Well, you'll be happy to know your draft's finished, Derek, so you can concentrate on getting yourself home. That's what you get for visiting Ayr.
There we go.
Deontay
We've got
Foreman could be
Benjamin.
a thing as well, as
You
a
could get the goal
last
lines.
round pick. I can't believe more people aren't picking the guy that I'm looking at about to pick. Oh, there Chris is on as well. Happy days. We're all on again. Last 4 picks. I can't believe this guy that I'm about to pick isn't going more often now.
You
Not
do
last
realise that
week. Last week,
Chris is going to pick him with his last pick, really piss you off. Like,
no, he's not. He can't. He can't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a dart throw, Johnny. You know what I mean? But it's a dart throw for someone who has moved up in the depth chart quite considerably over the period, the pre-season period. You know, there goes
oh, there goes
CH.
CH. You're
Tony's
not
up
going to go
now.
for. Oh, I forgot about Hyatt. Oh.
You're not going to find them.
No, I've just found somebody I was going to pick before I end up picking up Bryce Young. But
You would need
never mind.
to run down to into the 1500s to find my guy.
No, I'm just looking to see who's still there. I'm not looking for
But,
your guy.
but you know, I mean, people are taking swings with Mims. People are taking swings with Shipley. All still there, you know. Laub has been picked up in a few places I've seen, you know. I mean, this is a 16-team league, you've got to remember, so a lot of the players are gone now. You know, the Baltimore rookie receiver Walker's still there. Elijah
Yeah.
Moore's still there. Slayton's still there. You know, there's plenty of wide receivers that you can still take, you know. He's A. Jones, I know he's suspended for 5 games, but back end of the season, he could, you know, he's shown that he can produce from time to time. So,
Dwan
fair,
Johnson.
he's pickable for
That's
me.
the second tight end for Tony. Marvin, there you
There
go,
goes
Craig. It's all
Marvin
up to
Mims. I
you.
did say Marvin Mims was one. And here we go. This is the last one. This is the boy I'm
Mr.
talking about. How
Irrelevant.
is he not going more? Because he's the number 2 there now. He is literally the number 2 wide receiver on that team now. And
I
he's Mr.
drafted him the other
Irrelevant.
day. So, yeah, I drafted him
And
the other day, actually. So it's quite good.
I
I've got a
am
few
very
best ones.
happy with him as Mr. Irrelevant. The draft is complete. Been a pleasure, Johnny.
Yeah. Like I say, I will sort
Good
out
luck
the
to
fixtures in the morning. So good luck,
good luck.
everybody.
Good luck for season 1, everyone. May the battle commence. Bring it,
Yeah.
bitches, because I like my team.
So I will. I'll sort out the fixtures tomorrow per division, and then they'll be ready to go. Waivers are open from Tuesday, daily waivers. Then next Tuesday, I'll change them to the settings it's going to be for the week. So it'll be locked on Tuesday, waivers Wednesday, waivers to free agency Thursday, lock Friday, waivers to free agency Saturday, free agency Sunday, free agency Monday. So they're open for all the games if anybody wants a mad rush. But thank you for those that are watching. It's been a good laugh. And we'll be back on tomorrow for the Pheasant Pork. So good drafting, everybody, and good luck. Apart from
Good
Doug.
night, everyone. Apart from Doug.